welcome to another video. Oh, it's been how many weeks since the 50k AP patch raid infrastructure video? Jesus Christ. But back today, and I might be a little bit ambitious about the amount of stuff today. I want to cover quite a lot that's going on with Guild Wars 2, and then starting very soon, we're going to start a series. Yeah, that's right. I've decided. Fuck it. We'll wait with Oblivion. We're going to do the GW1 stuff I want to cover. So basically, we're going to do a mini-series on Reforged. That'll be the first thing. Reforged right now kind of just means pre-searing updates. So we'll be looking at that. And then after that, I'm going to do... now this might be a mistake. I'm going to do a Milan Doom series, which could be quite interesting. That is doing Melandru's Accord, which is basically Iron Man, and Doom's Covenant, which is permadeath, together. Now, I'm not going for God walking amongst mortals, Milan Doom. That's going to take forever. And by the way, if you guys follow the Guild Wars 1 subreddit, there's a lot of people actually achieving that. Well, I don't think they fully achieve it. I think one of the really hard titles to get is something like... it's like, I don't know how people farm for, like, Sweet Tooth and Drunkard. I don't know how they're doing it. Do they have to wait for festivals? And, like, you couldn't keg farm. Could you do Vitiers? I wouldn't want to farm. I mean, Jesus, what would you be doing? Anyway, so basically, what I am going to do, I'm going to do Milan Doom Prophecies. And I don't know whether that will end in success or failure or what. You know, if I die, I'm happy to restart. If I die, I'm happy to restart. If I die, I'm happy to restart. If we die fucking 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times, if we keep failing, we might have to put an end to it. I don't know. But if we beat Prophecies, then we can also, you know, have that as fun little things that we can go back to. For like a Factions edition and a Knife edition and stuff like that. So that should be pretty cool. I'm in a little bit of a rush here with the intro because it's currently... So for anyone watching this on the picture, this is kind of a Potatoes for Breakfast episode. It's a morning stream, which I haven't done for ages. But I figured, you know, I want to get the show on the road. So it's currently 10:30, and at 10:45 is a meta event that I want to show you guys. It's a fascinating meta event. I'm sure you've never played it. I'm sure you've not seen any other videos in which I've covered it. You guys will tell me if it's too loud. Might just be too loud. Yeah, it's okay. It's not new. It's the Hammer Heart Rumble. I want to show you guys a little something that I've been doing with my routine for Guild Wars last couple of weeks, which has been pretty cool. And I thoroughly recommend. So here on this, my inventory is pretty clean. I just logged in. This all we just collected all of these items here. Right? I'm going to show you how much my inventory fills up. Just a tiny amount of gameplay.
I know of a good use for this.
Yes, can we go to a high density? Okay, I'm going to show you how much you can get for your daily very, very, very quickly. And oh my god, the markers in this heart pack. Man, oh my god, this is just Tekken stuff. Look at that! That's insane. Holy shit. I'm still trying Tiny Hard, that's what you're looking at there. But I'm on an unstable build at the moment. And I don't know, I've been going flicking back to Blish, and the timers module in Blish is so good. The UI is so clean and so nice. You know, I used it as Sabbather to see when cannons were coming up. Or like if I'm tanking Doom, it tells you when to, or if you take a green at Doom, it tells you when to go into them. It's amazing at Ura. And Timey Hut doesn't really have any of that right now, so I don't know. Anyway, I'm on an experimental branch of Timey, which is also kind of like crashing and flickering with the whole X-ray thing at the moment. So that's why those markers are crazy there. I don't know, I'm split now. I don't know which tool I like the most. But nonetheless, I will be talking about markers.
Oh, I know the good use for this.
So yeah, we're gonna do Hammer Heart Rumble. It starts at 1:45. I'm currently on NA. I don't know how many of you guys are there actually able to play at the moment, but if you want to join me, you're more than welcome to. My hope is that I can quickly gather my movements and stuff and run over to...
Statistically speaking,
I've taken to playing a lot of this lately. This is a character that, like, I do a lot of my streams and videos and stuff on, and I think you guys generally think of as synonymous with me. When I get messages and whispers from people, wait, whoa, check my mic. Wrong mic, low volume mic. We can hardly hear you. Ooh. Really? I only have the one mic. know what? I bet it's just that I knocked it.
Or hoovering. Hello? Test it. Oh, the problem is now there's going to be such a delay. I think that should be better. Can you guys hear me? Is it good? Did that fix it? Oh, I'm in a rush. I'm going to wait to see if chat responds, if that's better or not. I could put text on screen. Yeah, it's good now. Okay, yeah, sorry, I was just doing a little bit of spring cleaning before starting here today. And I've got a thing. For years, guys, I've used an RME Babyface Pro. Now, look that shit up. They are not cheap, all right? That's been my audio interface for years and years and years and years. And recently, only just recently, after maybe 10 years of use, something like that, it started being a bit funky. Now, I don't know whether it's just the cable I'm using to connect to it, or the FET head that I also have as an intermediary. Maybe the FET head's been a little bit weird. But some nights in Discord, I'll be told, hey, your mic's just gone really crazy. And yeah, I totally cleaned my desk and washed it down and stuff earlier, and I moved the interface, and I bet that's what messed it. I'm peaking a bit. Maybe it's just a little bit got a little bit too much gain. We can fix that very easily. There we go. That might be a bit better. Yeah, sorry about any peakiness. As long as you can actually hear me and it's all right. Jesus, please tell me at least that some of those rants from a minute ago came through. We just went through a shit ton of topics. All right, look, Hammer Heart Rumble is starting now. I might be a little bit late. Yeah, basically, I'm playing a lot more lists. You guys tend to think of me as synonymous with lists, I think. Usually when I'm playing in-game, when I get whispers from people saying, oh my god, WP or whatever, not raids, it's when I'm playing on lists. Meta, only 20 people in it? That's not too bad, actually. Weekday morning, didn't fill up instantly. Oh, man, that sucks. Okay, see, so I should have 8 key fragments. Because I'm gonna, and do you know what? Sorry, but I'm not all about having 0 frames during this, so I'm gonna turn all the culling and stuff off. Usually when you load into the map, you start with 8 key fragments. This might not work now, because usually what I do is I join the squad, and then I'll TP to a friend directly from another map, which puts you into the right mega server at the exact same time, or the cube, or whatever. But yeah, we'll see. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys, hopefully, some very, very, very good money. Very, very, very quickly. I kind of stopped playing lists for ages, and I kind of stopped playing VOE for ages. You know, we did the big Let's Play when it came out, which is funny. It was, I guess, only a few months ago. It wasn't a summer release, right? It was a Halloween or whatever, just before Christmas. But I just haven't been back here since I got that last achievement, and I've just kind of been sitting around. I've had no reason. At launch, obviously, we got the Selakai Morpher. Aqua Breather. I'm so happy that I've actually retained the name of that, by the way. Selakai Morpher. But as of the raid update a couple of weeks ago, there is a new ring. There's the Crab Ring. And I was reading and I wasn't too interested in it. I actually haven't looked at any video previews of it either. But I was looking at the wiki page for it a couple of days ago. And it sounds like it does a ton of stuff. You get like a sunbeam on you. It puts like little sand castles around you on the floor, like footsteps. But I think they don't overwrite your legendary weapon footsteps. They're just their own additional thing. Doesn't it spawn crabs near you as well? It has like a lot of different effects. Also, unlike the other rings, it's not unique, which means you can equip 2, which is pretty cool. I don't know if that compounds the visuals. And looking at the recipe list for it, it looks like totally doable, like kind of cheap. So today, I might make it. That's my goal right now. What are we? Positive or negative? We're positive. I might try to make the crab ring right here, almost on a whim. Now, I have 1,000 gold from raiding. Raiding is like 99% of what I've been doing lately. So yeah, and I basically never raid on lists. I'll tank, he'll tank the odd encounter, like Doom or whatever, like I said just now. Or Soulless Horror when it comes up for the dailies. But mostly I play other classes. I'm playing a lot of Condi Mech. I'm playing a lot of Revenant, as always. Revenant is like my go-to, I would say, at this point. It's a very easy high damage conduit power build. There's fun Condi conduit builds. The quickness builds I love. You know, all Herald variants basically. So I just play a shit ton of Rev. I don't ever touch Vindicator though. But yeah, what that means is I barely ever touch lists. But I love this build on lists. Obviously, the when Visions of Eternity first came out, I was doing the Otter Healer at this fight and talking about how absolutely sick and ridiculous it was. That's kind of nerfed now, and you know, you guys, if you saw me over the summer, you know I wasn't too impressed with Evoker, like, conceptually. And now that it doesn't even have, like, the power creep on its side, I'm kind of just, you know, I'm not about Evoker at all, really. But this Tempest variant is still fun. Basically, I run 100% boon duration, exactly. And Dwayne Relic, which is really fun for open world because you end up overcapping a shit ton of regen onto a billion different people, and the healing power is really strong, and you know, you just end up doing these big fat heals. Also in acute moments where people take a lot of damage, like what happens against her in particular, all these bleed stacks, you can wash the pain away, you can overload water, you can rebound, you can double geyser to res people. It's fun. I like this build for open world. So it's kind of like going back to Tempest now that Evoker isn't that strong. You love Vindicator? You're the world's only Vindicator enjoyer, apparently. Yeah, I don't know. It's all right. I guess if the efficacy was a bit higher, I would play a bit more. Speaking of rev specs, there's Renegade 2 as well. Fun story. So I did a stream about Kayla when she came out. That was the normal mode, and about 2 weeks after the normal mode came out, the CM came out. I did prog and play the CM maybe 3 weeks ago now. I beat her very early, I would say. When I beat Kayla CM, the harder edition of her, I got 5th on the leaderboard. And unfortunately, I was dead in the I was the only person that died in the whole squad, to my great shame. And I was dead for the very final burn phase. And I was like top DPS. I wasn't in the end because I was dead in the last burn, so I didn't do any damage. So we got number 5, but I think we could have got number 3 if I hadn't died. So it's pretty shameful and sad. But yeah, I got Kayla pretty early. I quite like the fight. Anyway, sorry, just to link that into the other anecdote. I was playing with a Renegade. Seriously, one of our DPS was a Renegade, and because he wasn't dead in the last fight, he was actually the top damage. You know, everyone, this is a new CM, right? People are really careful about what they play. They were tunnel visioning Ritz. I think the hyperfixation on Ritz was a little bit overstated, to be honest. We were using a quickness Berserker, which had really good cleave on the spear, and it's just a really excellent build now that Fast Hands is baseline. I was playing easy baby mode Sword Conduit, and managing to get a good amount of damage. It was very flexible. Also, Hammer on Rev is amazing for Kayla CM. If you guys don't know how Kayla CM works, right, there's all these little crocodiles that spawn in the fight. And what these crocodiles do is they fixate onto 3 players. There's 3 crocs, 3 players get fixated. They get a red tether and the red fixate icon. And if you get near the crocodile, it does this jump attack, which stupidly Arenanet just called Tackle, right? It should be called like Mega Death Tackle, and the Telegraph should be much better. As always, Arenanet are kind of... they're not great at a lot of this stuff. The Telegraph and the messaging is just not very good. But this innocuous little tackle ability is actually like... it penetrates stability and knocks people down for a really long time. It has a massive cleave, and it hurts. It really fucking hurts. So the idea is that the fixated players are supposed to never get near the crocs, so that they never do the tackle, and you're supposed to kind of just range them down. That's the idea. And we know that that's the idea because there's actually an optional achievement in the fight to never let them even start a tackle, right? Turns out nobody plays it that way. They just let the entire group get nuked, and then they spam res abilities like Merciful Intervention or Barrier and shit like that, and just try to get through it. They use AoE stun breaks, which is fun. It's an interesting part of the build craft to see skills like Shake It Off be really useful, and Ritualist bringing Jinrei's weapon and stuff actually be useful. There's a Luminary ability that's also good. So that's fun. I like that about the crocodile thing. But what you can do on a Revenant with Hammer, this was the secret tech I was using, is if you get red fixate for a croc, you can just walk up to the croc, see it starts the animation, and you just hammer 3 any way you like. The Revenant, you will teleport a mile away because it's a 1200 range TP. The croc will do the jump. It will desperately try to race towards you a mile away. It will never reach you, and then you just TP back safely. You bait the croc a mile away from all your friends because you've just done it in a random area of the map. Oh, so good, guys. So fucking good. I love that shit. Anyway, so yeah, I got Kayla CM. And it was a renegade, but above all, actually, that was pumping. So it's pretty cool. It's nice to know that about Guild Wars, that you go to a website like Snowcrows, you look at the leaderboards, you look at what people are really hitting on the benchmark, and it often is not totally indicative of the builds that are possible out there if you just really focus rotationally and you really think about what you're doing. So that was a lot of fun. But yeah, I barely play this. The one thing I don't... Kayla has some awkward telegraph bugs, and I don't like the style of fight. I really prefer the much more heavily strictly scripted fights. I like a bit of actual puzzle solving. You know, that fight is like managed chaos, which Ura is like, which Greer was like. You know, I'm sort of done with the managed chaos fights in a way. It's weird though, because the managed chaos fights are also sort of fundamental to Guild Wars, and they sort of feel more true to fit Guild Wars and flexible thinking. So I don't know, really. I tend to think that they're doing a lot of managed chaos fights because they're a lot easier and quicker to implement and design, and I don't like that feeling, but, you know. So anyway, yeah, I don't think I'll do a dedicated video on Kayla CM, just because now that I've got it, I'm not going to do it again, and I never got any footage because I didn't really think... I mean, I got that in 2 days, I think. I was very fortunate in the raid leader I have for Ura, which we're still progging on. He was really motivated about it, and he was doing a lot of it. He did loads and loads and loads and loads. I came along for 2 different days, and I got it. So, and it was really just down to his diligence and his tenacity with it. I was just around a couple of days, really. So yeah, I don't think I'll do a video on it. Ura, I am still committed to doing a video on, and Ura, we're nearly beating now. We're getting to a lot of heals. We get her very low. I actually possibly wiped a run that was going to go the distance just 2 days ago. I put a sulfuric in the group in the final phase of Ura. For anyone that knows Ura Legendary Mode, basically at the very end, she spams moves because she'll start double casting the sulfurics. And I had like 4 in a row to the point that what I usually see is the blue border on the outside of my screen, and I think to myself, okay, react to this. But I had it on my screen so persistently because I'd done a bubble and then a sulfuric and then a bubble and then a sulfuric and then another bubble. It was like, something about my brain, I did not notice that I had a fucking sulfuric, and I just put it on the group, and I feel terrible about that. But we're kind of having break bar issues there as well. She gets so many blue stacks towards the end, it's kind of rough, but it's fun, it's very cool. We're doing it the proper way. We're not doing it the cheese way. We're not ignoring Titan spawners, we are actually doing Titan spawners. And it's been very rewarding. We've probably been on it far too long. Far more time than is reasonable. But hey, it is what it is. And we're nearly there, and it's quite exciting. So expect to see a video on her from me, probably at some point during all this Guild Wars 1 shit that's about to happen. Because I'll still be progging that in the evenings. Okay, so, alright. So there you go. That's all I did, right? I just logged in. And I did Hammerheart Rumble. Hammerheart Rumble is a very short meta. It's not even really a meta. Remember, we were getting these discussions about this back when the expansion came out. It's more like just a world boss, right? And you can see, obviously, things are flying in on the bottom, on the right-hand side of my screen. So what I'm going to just do real quick is I'm going to get the Hero's Choice chest, and I'm going to grab the sap out of it. So I have 27 sap already, right? Now, when the expansion came out and I had to gather sap for the original legendary I made, it was a pain in the arse. It took me forever. I was opening all the ethereal location chests. I was doing a bunch of events around the map and stuff. I was getting all the mirrors. Okay, here's how I've been doing it now, okay, for the Endless Summer Ring, which hopefully we'll craft in a minute. Could be cool. I get that one meta, that's it, and you can log in. People run the squads. As you can see, they're easy, by the way. Back at launch, there were people setting up all the different subs and going mental over it. Oh, I need an alacrity and I need a quickness for every 5 players. Blah, 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 blah. You don't have to do any of that, right? You never had to do any of that. Maybe it's because now sort of the fair weather players are gone and it's only the loser nerds like me that are still playing and grinding, so the standard is higher, so it doesn't really matter so much. I don't know. But the reality is I never see this fail. I also never see the other one fail. The other one's obviously a bit longer. But tag the meta, okay? Turn on Blish HUD or Timey HUD, whatever you like. And Tekit, on Tekit's pack, he has a new thing here.
Ready to rock.
Let's turn all this off. Let's clear up our visuals here. It's called Tekit's Pick. So obviously the mirrors did get nerfed. It used to be really, really valuable to, you know, get maximum keys, do every single mirror, everything. But now you don't get so many keys and you can't do a full run or whatever. So this is his optimized route. Just so here, if I right click, so on Tekit's guides here for Visions of Eternity in this region. No, sorry, for Shipwreck Stand. He has mirrors and obscured things. I'm just showing. Oh, the mouse over isn't even working on this thing. But this is his optimized run, right? So basically, I'm gonna do this, and you'll see what kind of ridiculous riches we get from this. I'm starting with 23 keys. Obviously, I didn't even need the 8 keys from that map pop there. And by finishing the mirror, I've gone up to 25, right? That's all we did, the meta. And I have maximum keys. And I'm just going to follow the path now. And that's it. And have a quick drink. Ooh. And look at chat and see them inevitably tell me that the microphone is still fucked. Right, yeah, so Q&A. Hello, everyone. Can I just apologize again that content has been way too low. Way too low. But don't worry, we're doing some big series immediately following this. So, okay, so Crehadios. Yeah, if you guys have got any questions, let me have them. What do you think of Guild Wars 3 development in Unreal Engine 5? I don't know. It's possible I'm out of the loop with regard to whatever you're talking about right now. I don't know why he puts this marker under the water here. No, I'm definitely not on the right trail. That's not right. It's over here. I think that's because that's the race. Am I at the loop? Was there something new about that? I know that there's a lot. I talked about this in the Oblivion LP. There's a lot of people that like just sneer at Unreal. Just in general, they sneer at it, but particularly its capacity to be a good engine when it comes to big, sprawling, broad RPGs. So that, you know, as a layperson, that worries me a little bit, I guess. Well, maybe worry isn't the right word. But, you know, I wonder whether there's some validity to that if you're going to try and put an MMO on it. But I don't know. Maybe it'll work out perfectly fine. I think that the big thing that's been going on with Guild Wars for years, right, is it feels like they were on top of the world. They had the best MMO. They really did. They just needed to nurture it and develop for it and fund it. But they took a lot of their funds and a lot of their cash and a lot of their ideas and they put it into other projects that never saw the light of day. And the Guild Wars players started getting lower quality stuff, smaller expansions, less raid releases, less world versus world updates, less PvP support, less funding for the tournaments, less. And it's always felt like we're second-class citizens to our own game, you know, because of that misallocation. And that kind of feels like that's been the big story for years and years and years. And the fact that we're still hearing about a potential Guild Wars 3, you know, I think is going to rub people the wrong way on those terms. But on the flip side, you know, on the Unreal bit specifically, I think there's another thing that's been happening with Guild Wars, which has been Guild Wars 2, and especially the past half decade, 6-7 years, that's been contributing to its lack of support and, you know, the smaller patches than perhaps we'd like and all that. And that's technical debt, that's spaghetti code, that's an unwieldy engine that when they, you know, if Arenanet has to replace some programmers, right, if they're looking for new talent, they got a huge... This is always really annoying, by the way, because I always get here on my healing build, because I like playing my healing build, and that means I have no way to kill these raptors, and I have to be very careful to stand in just the right place so that these projectiles don't get obstructed by the raptors. Not to mention, this fucking target is horrible. I swear to God, this is the worst one. Come on! Oh, we're actually going to die. No, Liz, come on! Alright, hold on. We got to stop. We got to heal. We're going to apply some of that super strong regen. And then we'll try again. Come on. So, you know, tech debt and, like, the actual... And, like, just, you know... It's not even about, like, people like to go, rah, 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 none of the original talents left, blah, 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 which is patently not true. But it's not even about that. You know, someone might have coded or set something up relating to, I don't know, a Guild Wars 1 dungeon interaction 12 years ago now. It doesn't matter whether you've got the same guy. It's spaghetti. It's too difficult for them to get back and to look at it, right? And, you know, they've got all this bespoke code, this in-house engine, like this very specific way of doing things. And when they're looking for new graduates, when they're looking for new talent, they may be people that are even very passionate about Guild Wars and very passionate about this franchise, very talented. They're not being trained in all of this bespoke stuff. What are they being taught while they're at university, right? What are they learning on their game design courses? They're learning about big, ubiquitous, well-used engines that are understood across the industry. They're coming in with a knowledge base about Unreal Engine. That's what they're coming in with. So if Arenanet have a hot, big MMO property on their hand that is on Unreal, that's a huge asset for maintaining it over the years, for onboarding new people. And, you know, all these things have a knock-on effect. And you can look at that very acutely when it comes to Guild Wars 1 at the moment, right? With all this stuff with 2 weeks. And we've got amazing things happening in Guild Wars 1 that are kind of like a pinch me and am I dreaming type situation. But these guys have been very open about how difficult it's been to get back in and get the tools and get the stuff running, right? Arenanet probably don't want to have that issue anymore. You know, they have, and we talk about that issue when it comes to Guild Wars 1, but that issue is also there for this game too, for Guild Wars 2. So look, I'm not against a new product for all those arguments. And I'm also not against a new product because I just... Like, I love Guild Wars 2, and I play the shit out of Guild Wars 2. I probably play far too much Guild Wars 2, and I've been big on Guild Wars 2 in a huge way since this raid update. This raid update has been possibly the best update in years. It's really got me hooked. I'm getting in there, I'm doing my dailies every day, you know, and then it has a knock-on effect where now I find myself doing VOE stuff every day. I find myself going to the guild hall every day. I find myself, you know, well, not every day, to be honest with that one. I found myself doing the Wizard's Vault, which, by the way, if you have a look here, I think we've just finished accidentally since logging in, yeah. But, you know, I've got all my rewards, by the way. I have all the Pearl Shell weapons. You know, Guild Wars 2 is in an incredible place for me, alright? I really do love Guild Wars 2. But this is not the game that I like. It's not my ideal game. It's not the game that I dreamed of and originally fell in love with, you know? Like, when it's Monday and, you know, it's raid reset and I'm in there, you know, thinking about different ways to optimize various bosses, or I'm hosting little daily runs and I'm having fun because they went smoothly, or I'm trying a new build and it you know, it was a little bit interesting, or oh, I've learned a slightly different way of tanking this or moving here or doing that. That's all fun, right? And I'm enjoying myself. But it's not the sort of holy shit, mind-blowing fun that I was looking for from the game when I first got into it. Like when I think about those early days when I first was running around Queensdale, the actual beauty of the open world and getting those original crafting disciplines and finding the new materials out in the world and hunting for the secret legendary recipes and being amazed at the items that people were getting, and, you know, that kind of like new MMO shine stuff and RPG stuff that Guild Wars just does not encourage because of all the account binding and stuff. You know, even this experience I'm having right now, I'm running along, following a line, swapping from mount to mount to mount, dev hacking around the map effectively with the speed that I'm moving. There are certain decisions that have been made with Guild Wars 2 that are just like, they're not... This isn't the best RPG of all time. I'm having fun with it and I play it all the time, but there are experiences I'm looking for that Guild Wars 2 will never give me. Never. It's gone. It's done. Unless Arenanet really changed their philosophies about a lot of stuff. And they started doing shit like, oh, you can't mount until the map's completed, or, oh, mounts run out of energy, and these are just not mechanics they'll ever do. They're too scared of alienating their user base. There are things that a really great RPG can accomplish that Arenanet can never accomplish in Guild Wars 2. The only thing they can do is a Guild Wars 3. So yeah, I'm like broadly totally in favor of it. I like the idea. Fuck it, let's do it. So there you go. And I've given you these conversations many times, but we still get questions about it, so fuck it. Hey WP, how comes you never got into Dark Souls? It seems to offer a lot of what you like in games. Great question. Why? I don't know. All right. Do you want a real thing? A pathetic failing of mine. Do you want to hear some real life therapy talk from me? Do you want me to hear me put my heart on my sleeve and explain a dumb fucking thing about me. A stupid thing that has always held me back. Alright? And I know it holds me back. And I do it anyway. And I don't know. I should just change my mind. I should just not be this guy. It should just not be my personality. But it is my personality. It's my neuroticism, alright? It's my obsession. And it's pathetic, alright? But the answer to the Dark Souls question is the same answer as to why am I only now committing to Guild Wars Reforged? It's been out a couple of months. Why am I only now doing it? Why didn't I do it in December when there were 1,000 people logging in to Guild Wars 1 on Steam? Why? This is pathetic. It's because I'm a fucking loser, hipster, douchebag, idiot. And if something's really popular and there's a fuck ton of people bandwagoning it, and especially like doing it on Twitch and shit, I don't want to do it. I don't want to be a part of the crowd. I have absolutely no interest in being a part of a crowd. That's all it is. That is 100% what it is. So Dark Souls could be the perfect game for me and always was, and I should have just streamed it, especially during its heyday and stuff. But there's this thing in me that's like, ugh, everyone's doing it. Fuck that. No, not interested. I'm happy to do Reforged once it's all cooled down, and I'm not so much a part of the crowd. And it's to my own detriment. I'm not a good fit for this. All right. Like that is such anti-synergy for being remotely successful as a streamer or anyone interested in covering video games. Like, it's not a good thing. It's a terrible trait. It's a terrible, terrible thing that I should just get over. But I can't get over it, apparently. It really puts me off things. It really... If there's a crowd doing something, if I feel like a bunch of people have already covered something, if I feel like I'm just adding noise, I don't want to do it. I just don't want to do it. I want to do things at my own pace. I want to do it different. And it's pathetic, isn't it? It's bad. But there you go. That is probably the truth. Okay, so separately, I could just play Dark Souls on my own, but I've always liked the idea of streaming it. So, I don't know. I like the idea of doing it. You know, who knows? I was watching, and broadly speaking, just FromSoft, like Elden Ring looks awesome. Like, really, really cool. It looks totally up my alley. I saw a video of Elden Ring, and I specifically keep myself in the dark about those as well, just because one day when I play them, I'd like to be fresh and have my own experiences with it. But I saw a cool like video the other day. It was about Elden Ring, and someone was holding like a fiery torch, and there were these dogs, these massive these dogs with giant heads. They almost looked comical. You know how like scary and creepy can ride the line of like funny a lot of the time? You know, horror media has to be very... I mean, books escape it because it exists in your own imagination. But there's a very fine line, right, between funny and scary. I know that sounds a bit weird, but if you've watched a lot of horror, you'll know what I'm talking about. And yeah, there were these giant dog things. I don't know. Does anyone in chat know what I'm talking about? And they had massive heads. They looked like they had bobbleheads, and I was like, "Oof, that's right on the line. That's kind of creepy and weird and cool, but also they look like bobbleheads." Anyway, it was someone had a torch, and it was like scaring the dogs off. The dogs would never attack them at all, never. And then in the video, he put the dog away, and it immediately chomped him. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I'll do Cyberpunk in 2077. Well, Cyberpunk I know a bit about because my girlfriend played Cyberpunk and ranted and raved to me about it. And I watched Edge Runners on Netflix. I love that song. I really want to stay in... What's the line? In your house. Is it house? That song? I like that. I've been watching a bit of anime lately, guys. I've been watching sort of the... Shit, what's it called? The Alchemy Diaries? The Horticulture Diaries? No, fuck, what's it called? Diaries of an Alchemist? No. It's set in China, feudal ancient China. Anyway, I watched that. And we're on to... why am I so bad at this? In Hell We Rise or something. Hell Riders. Hell is... Not Demon Slayer, I watched that as well, but that's... Apothecary Diaries, that's it. Yeah, there you go, that's it. Apothecary Diaries. Look at you guys, you're all geniuses. This is amazing. Yeah. And the other way, it's about... Like a guy, he's a shinobi. That was alright. I was watching that last night. But yeah, I hear blind playthroughs of Dark Souls are lots of fun. My only fear with it a little bit, alright, is Hollow Knight is also a game that ostensibly is right up my alley, and I really struggled to get into it and actually bounced off of it in the end. I did not have the grit or the patience or the skill. I was just too casual, too slow brain, too whatever. By the way, we're done. I finished this ages ago. So there you go, that's it. Once I got this chest, we're done already. So now let's look at Liss's inventory, shall we? So Liss collected from that, just that little bit of ranting. I only got to 2 questions from you guys. 70 blues, 70 greens, nearly 80 greens. Usually you get about 70 rares as well.
What a pleasant surprise.
All these ingredients and things from the login reward, from the home instance and stuff. And that's it. So when we look at the sap, so every single one of those boxes gave me sap as well. I just got 80 sap from that. Now, that's not the map currency, right? The Aether-rich sap. That's the condensed, the chromatic sap. So you'll see in my bank, I have 600 of the shit. And I've been getting so many rares and ectos and things. So once I salvage this down, I've been getting swarmed with lucent motes. And that's this. So you can do this on the second map as well. It's a little bit longer because the meta is longer, much longer on the other map. In truth, what you can do is you can tag the pre-events in the other meta, and then while the meta is cooking, you can do the chest route and then get back to it and heal people for the last 2 or 3 phases in Gwildel, and then you can get it all in at once, and that's very, very time efficient. I'm not going to do that. That's one of those weird things where personally I think that is absolutely perfectly fine. It affects no one. It's not a problem. But you're going to get these pearl clutching people saying, that's leeching. In my opinion, it's not leeching at all, but you know, your mileage may vary on that. But look at that. We just got 70 ecto. Look at my bank. I have 1,951 ecto. I have not been trying to get ecto at all. I've just been coming to VOE for brief windows, just doing, I mean, what was that? That was not much. Look at all this ecto I've got. So, so I got 1,000 gold, I got a load of ecto, I've got loads of the map currencies. Oh, I just deposited. Well, there you go. And then the big deposit there. These are always a bit annoying to trade in. So I'm pretty sure, now I had a very brief look at the Endless Summer Ring. I'm pretty sure I can just craft it. So what do you guys think? Should we try to make the Endless Summer Ring? That's one thing I want to look at. The other thing, just to show you real quick, so daily raids and stuff, that's been my bread and butter, really. And again, it's been fantastic. I do have a bit of a quick rant that I want to go on, so hold on real quick. So in terms of like purchases, I got my infinite metabolic like the day the patch came out, I think. It's in my bank at the moment. But now I can get my infinite utility primer. I just want to point out there was another patch that came out that allows you to buy these in World vs. World too. So really dedicated World vs. World players can get them now. And dedicated raid players. So you'll see here, I've got 253 LI. I have just enough here. I've saved up just enough to buy it on screen because, hey, that'll be fun. And there you go. So infinite primers of both. I have my regular primers here for now that I'm just going to use up, I guess. Oh, we could put them in. Let's put them in. Something fun and satisfying about that, isn't there? So there you go. Infinite metabolic, infinite utility. I kind of shuffled my permanent slots around to accommodate for these. I used to have the rare seals and stuff up here stacking up, but I got rid of them. So basically, this is all junk that just comes in that's annoying to clean out of inventory. Fire orchid seeds, indigo mushrooms. These are related to like legendary collections that, to be honest, Arenanet should just fix. Boar bristles, baubles I'm getting from the home instance, which really don't matter. I've been gathering these all year. Obviously, Super Adventure Box is coming back fairly soon. And you'll notice the entire year from my home instance, I've got maybe 4 stacks. That's like one map, isn't it? That's like one tribulation run. It's like... So anyway, I just fill those in. Black line chests are junk. Exotic luck is kind of junk. I'm building up again. The festival only just ended, and I've already got these. Keys, dies, Aether key pieces, Tomes of Knowledge, and then these. These are just annoying to clean. But then for the rest, I'm quite happy with my setup here. Permanent bank, permanent trader, permanent merchant. The bank, in theory, I could upgrade with a permanent crafting bench. And why that's better is because it is a bank, but also allies can use it, and you get the crafting of whatever discipline it is. So technically that could be better. I have a zero portal here for the occasional fractal. The 2 TPs, TP to a friend permanent, and then just a regular one, because I've got so many from the Wizard's Vault and Blackline chests over the years and stuff. You may as well use these, because these don't have a cooldown. Revive orbs, always making sure to buy these on the Wizard's Vault. So I've got 102. They're nice, obviously, for meta events and stuff. Really nice. And then the bottom row is the Wizard's Portal Tome and various research kits. And now these two Infinite Primers, which has been such immense quality of life, honestly. Even just having the metabolic one is so nice. And they only ask you to spend 25 magnetite shards, which is like nothing. Because these are in the game now, I kind of have a cool situation where all my alt characters are all sitting there on 12 hours of whatever stats they like. Like Liz has the concentration stuff for 100% boon duration for the regen thing. And it's been really, really nice for food and drink and stuff. So yeah, there you go. And then those going, I still don't know who to put that bag slot on. But yeah, so that took me a while to collect because I have all the Envoy armor. So Envoy armor is like 50 Li per piece. And then there's 6 pieces, right? So it's 50 times 6. So you're looking at 300 for medium. And then another 300 for light, so you're at 600 Li, plus whatever the initial set cost. And then both of these were 250 a piece, so that's another 500. So I've had to have like well over 1,000 Li, maybe as high as 1,400 Li to get to where I am. Now that I've bought all of that, I can start having fun with it. I'll probably buy all the crafting stations just for fun. Get the recipes, these are cheap. And then once I have all the crafting stations and all the recipes, I will finally start working on Raid God. Wherever that is. One of these things I have to buy for Raid God. I don't know where it is. And yeah, by the way, on the last part we were talking about AP. I've basically got all the Raid AP that I can possibly get now. With the exception of some Mount Barrier stuff like Ura LM. So we're back up to kind of cap. We're waiting on the next patch now. So I'm at 50,254. And I'm kind of just waiting. The other thing, obviously, is I could pick up World vs. World in a big way. But, you know. World vs. World. Getting people very angry there saying that. So, yeah, that's kind of just a little bit of what's been going on. That's where I am with that. Oh, yeah. So then the raid rant I was going to mention. Oh, and this is quite nice from the chest runs as well. You often get the tokens. And some of these tokens are worth just like a gold straight up. Even that was 50 silver. Yeah, I have this Spiritwood shaft because some of the new stuff you salvage from new raids, they don't salvage into magnetite, which they should. And they salvage into this annoying ascended crafting material stuff, which is expensive, but you can't TP, so I sort of have to craft it into an item to get value out of it, so they're just sitting around on various characters. Yeah, I do have a bit of a rant, something I'm a bit disappointed with there. This guy has the ring, look. Oh, we can turn culling and stuff on there. And it's the way that Arenanet handled the new, like, ultra sweaty raid achievements. Where are they? Raids, raid general. Okay, Infallible, right? Infallible was announced to us before patch as a cool selection of achievements where what you have to do is do an entire wing, boss after boss after boss after boss, without any down states. Not defeats, down states. Now that to me is phenomenal. It's a really, really cool idea. Because Guild Wars has always been incredibly forgiving with the whole downstate mechanic, and Arenanet never really figured it out. They kind of wimped out with the death penalty mechanic, and we've seen how it's changed multiple times over the years into breaking armor, and then obviously even that's gone away. Like, Infallible, no downstates. People have to play really well. It's got interesting buildcraft elements. It's got the cool endurance aspect to it. It's fantastic. It is the best version of, like, you know, those zero defeat achievements that they added even back as early as Wing 1. But they put it everywhere. I love the idea of Infallible. So, so, so cool. And I was really excited to go and progress through it all. Except then when the release came out, they also had timers on them, which were grossly, ridiculously challenging. Like winning one is ludicrously hard. They're all... Basically, what Arenanet did was they took a really fun but accessible idea that thousands of people could have enjoyed and played, and they turned it into this sweaty bullshit that maybe 3 or 4 guilds game-wide will be doing. And the reason they like putting timers on there is kind of good, right? Because if you don't have a timer at all, everyone just runs hybrid scourges that stack shit tons of barrier for every fight, and it's not interesting. So putting a timer on there is a good idea, right? Making sure that the enrages count and all of that. That's fine, except they then went and made the timers really, really ridiculous. And so now to progress it, like, okay, I'm kind of happy that the sub 1% of the community gets a little something, but I think they completely missed it, and now I'm not interested in doing it at all. So I discussed everything I just said I already discussed, and I think Arenanet messed up there. I think they listened to people that they shouldn't have listened to on that one. And obviously, that's just my opinion, and some people were saying, no, the really sweaty stuff is just right. And people in communities like mine, you know, where we're really into the game, they're going to self-select into just echo chambers where they're only interested in the really, really, really hardcore stuff. But I still think it's wrong. I already discussed all of that. The other little addendum I want to have to the rant that really saddens me is relating to what we know about Guild Wars 2 achievements. And that's that Arenanet don't take them away, and they don't, by and large, ever really change them, okay? So, now that Infallible is in the game, and people have earned Infallible based on these, like, stupid timers, they've kind of locked into the power creep. That is something I never mentioned last time, and that is something that really gets my goat and really upsets. Have you guys noticed that? So for years, I've been saying, hey, look, they could just make VG a bit tankier again. They could just make Gorseval a bit tankier again. They can up the pressure of some of these abilities to account for the fact that Barrier is in the game now, the Troubadour Elite is in the game, that Rebound is here in the state that it's currently in, because the Heartthorn's launch, it was not, for example. But like, they can address some of these, you know, the super broad access to stability that we have now, which has led to some crazy design on Kayla where tackle actually pierces through stability, and there's no fun way to learn that. You just have to figure out the obscure rules, right? Like the power creep has happened everywhere. It's not just damage, but it's defensive power creep too. And I've said for years, you know, they can just bump these things up to relight that spark, to relight that fire, to bring back the love for these fights and show off the design that's in them. Not so that people can't pug them anymore, not so that they're unfun now, but actually so that they're more fun, so that they have a bit more to them. And if there's any poster children for that, it's the stuff like the Icebreed Saga 5, right? Like, I like the idea of all of these, right? Like, they could buff these up. But now that Infallible is in the game, that locks people into fucking nutty 40k DPS plus, like, fucking speed clears of a lot of this stuff. And again, it's not that you can't make mistakes. You can make mistakes. There is a little bit of wiggle room in them. I do see that. But they've kind of locked into the current power creep. They've kind of said, no, this power creep will never go away. Yes, we're happy that you just explode Gorseval, that you just explode VG, that you just explode the Keep Construct, that you just explode Zera. Like they've kind of put the nails in the coffin with that, and that was something I hadn't really initially realised, and now I have, and kind of makes me quite sad about Infallible since then. But yeah, also I think Raid Mentor is bugged at the moment. I think people aren't getting progress for things that they otherwise should be. But yeah. Alright, so there you go. That's a little bit with that. Let's look at another quick little bit of news here relating to the next patch. This was something I could have actually talked about last time. Well, actually, hold on. Let me look at chat for a second here. WP, I'm a hipster. Also, WP, I'm watching a lot of anime. I know. I'm a walking series of contradictions. I know. Okay, so here's someone who says, I disagree. If Arenanet wants to address the power creep, the thing that stops them wouldn't be the 9 achievements. That would be the easiest part to adjust compared to everything to readjust the power creep. Yeah, okay. Bragdress, I agree with you. In principle, in theory, like, what's to stop them tweaking it? But looking at their track record, looking at the way that they handle the game, Arenanet are terrified of sparking outrage. And to that end, they are absolutely unflinching about taking things away that people have earned, okay? So you have Infallible, right? And people worked really hard for Infallible. If they reduce the power creep and at the same time make Infallible easier, right, because of the power creep, people won't be smart enough to identify or to talk about that. They will just rage and say, oh my fucking god, I can't believe you took my thing away, right? I can't believe you made it easier. I can't believe you let the scrubs get it now, blah, 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 right? Which is blind to the fact that power creep over the years will do that anyway, and that you've got to enjoy it in the interim, and all these perfectly logical sound arguments for why Arenanet should just change the achievement, and they should just take things away, in my opinion. The reality is, Arenanet do not feel the same. Arenanet do not act that way. I don't know. Can anyone in chat prove me wrong? When have they ever taken an achievement off of people, or retroactively, like, pacified? Okay, so some achievements do get tweaked. So, for example, like when VOE came out, there were those achievements to dodge every animation at Hammerheart Rumble, which we just played, remember? And then they added stacks to it. But that's because the achievement was, like, impossible or bugged or not their initial design, right? Like, that's not the case for this. That's not the case for Infallible. They don't really roll shit back. So that's kind of my... That's kind of why I think they won't do it, and that they're sort of locked in now. I hope that they're not, and I wish that they weren't. Okay, I'll give you an addendum to the addendum now as well, one final extra thing, and I'm afraid... I'm sorry, I'm very insecure that I'm boring the fuck out of people with this. Because believe me, I know how boring these conversations are when you're not doing these things. But the addendum to the addendum is they can actually sort of just resolve this stuff with new CMs. Right, like, VG is actually bugged at the moment, where when you beat it on normal mode, a leaderboard pops up telling you about VGCM, which is interesting. But, you know, if you get a Freynear CM coming into the game, a Whisper of Jormag CM, CMs for all those early ones, probably a better CM for Keep Construct. With that, they can address it, right? And they can say, okay, here's your non-power creeped one, and people will run it. So maybe that's the world that is best now. Even there, it ends up a bit incongruent, though, because Infallible asks you to have 0 downs, do it in a quick time, and on the hardest mode. If you want Infallible, you have to do the CMs, currently. So what does that mean? If they add CMs to fights that currently don't have CMs, do they then have to retroactively update Infallible anyway? Or does Infallible become this awkward thing where you can get Infallible for not doing Zera CM because it didn't exist yet, but you do have to do KC CM because it did. Do you get what I mean? Like, there's just awkward bullshit all over the place here. Which, to me, is just, like, that's bad. That's poorly designed. That's poorly thought out. It's like they don't really know where they're going with it or whatever. I don't know. Either that or I'm nitpicking and thinking about things that I shouldn't be thinking about. Because there's not enough new content. So this is where our heads end up going. You hate that they did that achievement for like 10 players. You like the idea, but make it possible for like the 10 best % of people and not the 0.9. Yeah, no, I completely agree, Yumi. I completely agree. And we might be exaggerating. I've heard that there's some Void Lounge groups that are progressing it and are trying it. I hear that Wing 1 is fucking brutal, and I hear that obviously Mount Barrier is incredibly difficult too. Like, I'm not against challenges. I thought they had such a good opportunity to... just all on its own, Infallible with the 0 downs, do a whole wing back to back, and some timers on there to ensure that it's not too cheesable. That's brilliant. That was really, really good. I mean, what simpletons then came along and convinced them to take a great idea for a lot of people and push it into this tiny little box? It's ridiculous. In my opinion. You agree? You just think that this particular set of achievements would be a blip on their radar that wouldn't come up compared to the entire player base? I agree as well, but these things are often not logical or mathematical, right? Like, the same people who will get it and enjoyed getting it and are using it as like a chase goal, they are disproportionately overrepresented. Their voices are hugely overrepresented on streams, on the forums, on Reddit. And in the case of when they are streamers, their audiences are very easy to sort of, you know, just follow along like ducklings. And so I don't know, you know, you can say it's just a couple of people, but maybe that argument cuts both ways. Either that subset of the community matters or they don't, right? If they matter, then the achievement's fine. If they don't matter, then it's not, and you should be happy about ticking them off. I don't know. It's a thought. Just retire the achievement and give a new name if it's rebalanced extensively. I mean, I'm a big believer in that. I fucking love the idea of retiring achievements. Like, over in PvP, right? Like, I believe, like, the achievement for getting #1 on the leaderboard, when a new season comes out, it retires. Retire it. It should be seasonal. Kill the achievement, right? The people with the title for winning a MAT, right? A monthly automated tournament, they get it for that month and then retire it. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. That keeps the prestige there. That keeps the love for it there. That keeps, you know, important, strong teams together because they've always got that goal to go back for. Retiring shit should not be like this big no-no, this terror. Oh my god, we don't want to upset people on Reddit thing. No, it should be a part of the fucking experience. I'm a big believer in that, yeah. Arenanet or not. The complaints will now be, now it's easier and I did more work and the people don't deserve it. Yeah, I mean, look at even like, wasn't there something that just happened with that with Guild Wars 1? I swear I was in a Guild Wars 1 thread. A game that's been effectively, let's be honest with ourselves, right? Like, I love Guild Wars 1 and I want it to have a population stuff. It's effectively a dead, forgotten game. Let's be real, all right? Be honest with ourselves. It's effectively a dead, forgotten game. And you get people who are like, last logged in on 2013, annoyed that Sweet Tooth is easier now or some shit, right? Like that's not exactly what happened, but it blew my mind some of the complaining people were doing about some of the new updates. Oh my god, on Reforged mode, you get more gold and more skill points? Ah! It's like, dude, get the fuck over it. Do you know what, to make this a little bit real here for a second, do you know what always really creeps me out? People like that, that's just like that's like such a selfish, gross mindset. But what you have to understand is economically, lifestyle-wise, a lot of your friends, a lot of your family, a lot of your peers in real life are like that. They're like that about their paychecks. They're like that about their houses. They're like that about every tiny little fucking thing that they had. And they do have this, fuck you, I don't want you getting this. I got it now. It's pulling the ladder up, like, we talk about it in very, like, distant ways, like it's this, like, imaginable other. But you see it in video games very easy. You know, you see people, you know, like, hoarding what they shouldn't hoard, and you just know that comes across in real life as well. It's very, very gross, and it's not good for society, and it's not good. It's a horrible mindset that you see it, like, the buds of it grow in just people's behavior in MMOs. And I think it's, you know, it's not a nice thing. How's my world building project going on? I haven't really done anything with it for a while, and to be honest, I kind of, maybe I'm wrong to do this. I really cringe at myself talking about it on streams. You know, everyone's a fucking armchair creative, and you know, I don't know. It's great, and I love it, and one day I'll get enthusiastic about it again. Do you know what my huge enthusiasm is at the moment? I'm going to invite so much judgment on myself here. All right. I'm actually going to make some enemies here, and I'm going to upset some of you. Because of the current big moral outrage. All right, are you ready? Here's a reason to dislike me. Unironically, and with all my heart, I have been really, really enjoying going on rabbit holes with Google Gemini lately. Uh-oh, AI. Uh-oh. What am I doing? What was my fucking plan here? What am I supposed to be doing? Right, let's go to the new map. Let's get ready to make this ring. I've been reading... You know, I'm a bit older now, right? I'm a bit older. And I have found... I don't know whether this is true for you guys. I remember when I was little, when I was at school, I remember being taught, like, British history. I remember being taught about the War of the Roses. And I remember being taught about the Magna Carta. And I remember being taught about, like, the Domesday Book and the Battle of Hastings. And I remember not giving a fuck. And I remember it going in one ear and out the other. I think history is the worst subject on the planet to teach to children. Why? Because children don't really know the difference between the 1960s and the 1860s or the fucking 1060s. They have no context. They have no years under their belt. They don't get it. They have no sense of who they are, where they are in the world, what their country is to the world, how their upbringing has been different to others. They have no place in the universe. They have no sense of the difference between the Battle of Hastings and the construction of the Great Pyramids, or the death of the dinosaurs, right? Or when life was created. They know nothing. So it doesn't matter. They don't get it. However, but once you've got a few years under your belt, right, you have enough building blocks to realize what the world is and like what these distances were and what 10 years feels like and what 20 years feels like, and you can guess what 50 years feels like, or maybe even feel what 50 years feels like, and you can guess what 100 years feels like. And now when you read these distant dates, like, it kind of means something now. It means something when I read about the 19th century, you know, and you're looking at all these different events throughout the 1800s, or if we go back to the 18th century, or we go back to the 70s. And I've found history, real life history, endlessly fascinating. Oh my God, so fascinating. Like, I did not know, okay, I did not know the difference between Thomas Cromwell and Oliver Cromwell until 3 days ago. I can openly admit to my ignorance. I didn't know that they were different people. I had no fucking clue. And I was reading about, like, fucking Thomas getting executed on the day of Henry's next wedding and all just, like, this crazy drama. Drama that you wouldn't imagine in a TV show or a video game or something. You'd be like, no, that's too cheesy. That's too cheesy pie. That's ridiculous. But it actually fucking happened. Some of, like, the shit. And so I'm very, 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 very into history at the moment. And, like day after day, I'm just going down these maps. What would once upon a time have been wiki rabbit holes for me have turned into Gemini rabbit holes. And I get it, all right? I get it. AI bad, burning down the rainforest. Oh, the price of my RAM. Oh, it hallucinates. Oh, Gen Z children, Gen Alpha children don't know anything. All right, look, I get it, right? You always need to have that little bit of scrutiny, okay? And don't trust everything. But do you know how fucking cool it is to... And I know, all the CEOs love AI and stuff. Do you know how cool it is to be getting all this, like, cool information about the Magna Carta and then see how King John, you know, just kind of signed it for bullshit reasons? And by the way, the UK wasn't even it was sold. It was a vassal state of the Pope for a while. A fucking vassal state of the Pope. And then the Pope came in and annulled it. But then King John died and the Pope died at the same time. To read about all this stuff and then just be like, what? And you hear a random little reference to the Bill of Rights, the UK Bill of Rights. And be like, okay, what was that? And then it will tell you all about the Bill of Rights. And you're reading all and then you hear about an obscure character there and you can ask about that. It's like a teacher. It's like having one-on-one tutoring, right? Like, I don't know whether you guys were like this at school, okay? I remember various times at school. I didn't get great grades, right? But I was always interested. I was never good for academia, all right? I was never well behaved. I was never very disciplined. I was always in detention. I never had any respect for my teachers. I never had any respect for the institution. I never had any respect for homework. So I was not a good student, right? But I was always endlessly curious. And so I was kind of a terrible student that nonetheless would stay after class and just chat with the teacher about cool shit, right? And just be really interested in it. That's me, right? Did anyone ever have that experience where, like, after hours, you'd just be sort of sitting there nerdly talking about stuff with a teacher that's happy to tell you because, oh, look, it's not about just teaching to get you through your GCSEs. It's not just following a book. It's actually just a love of the subject. And you can ask a teacher something and then ask them something else and suddenly, like, 40 minutes have passed, right? Do you guys ever have that experience? But at some point, the teacher has a job to do and the teacher has to leave. Or at some point, you'll ask a question that you're curious about and the teacher will go... oh, I don't know, right? Because it's suddenly out of their wheelhouse, or it's a little bit too political. I'll give you an example, and this is actually a history example as well. I remember once asking a history teacher when I was studying the Cold War. I remember I must have been, I don't know, 15, 16 or something. And I basically said to the teacher in a one-on-one conversation later, and very innocently, I just said, okay, but why was communism so bad? I remember asking that, right? Because I didn't get any of it. And I asked him that, and he blanched. And I'll remember so clearly, till the day I die, I remember his reaction. And I remember him basically half shrugging, frowning a little bit, and saying, well, it just doesn't work, does it? And I remember distinctly at that point thinking, oh, that's interesting. That was a bit political, or he's not very firm on that subject. He doesn't really know how he feels about that subject. He doesn't know what he should be teaching me about that subject. And he's just hastily moved us on, right? And so you have these moments with teachers like that, right? Where you get fobbed off. I'll tell you what, Gemini never fucking fobs me off. It might hallucinate that 10% of the time, But holy fuck, it doesn't give a shit. It can talk to me about British law. It can talk to me about history. It can talk, you know, we can go all over the place. And it doesn't give a shit. It will give me cool, interesting insights and answers. We can go from that to fashion. It will just go and go and go and go and go. And I've got to say, guys, I'm a big fan. Genuinely. I'm really fucking enjoying it. I've had to tell it a few things. I've had to be like, okay, shut the fuck up about generating images. I will never want you to generate an image. Stop it. Stop prompting me to generate images. And it will say, okay, I won't do that anymore. And I have to say, stop talking about America. Like, it's got such an American defaultism thing to it. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Stop it. It will say, would you like to hear how this relates to no taxation without representation? No. No, I don't care about the Founding Fathers that much. I mean, I've asked it a few things. Because, I mean, they were Brits ultimately, right? But, you know, so I've had to curate it a little bit. But holy shit. And, you know, it kept printing me these little tables. So I don't know. That might put me on some kind of hit list because the moral panic at the moment is to hate all these things, right? But I've been fascinated by it, and it's amazing. It reminds me as well a lot. I remember when I was at college, Wikipedia was a couple of years old. It's really funny for me to look back, actually. It's like Wikipedia came in like just a couple of years before like I was, you know, studying certain things. And I remember a moral outrage about that, specifically among academics. I remember everyone freaking the fuck out about Wikipedia. Students following the faculty, you know, nerdy, lemming like little students saying, oh yeah, we shouldn't use it. Never use Wiki, don't go to Wiki, anyone can edit Wiki. Wiki is bad, 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 don't use Wiki, no, 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 no. And obviously, Wiki is not a source, obviously, and that holds to this day. But there was a real fear about it. And it was because it was shaking the world. It was because it was saying, okay, you don't have to go through all this bullshit in all these books, right? And you don't have to go to all these horrendously, you know, ununiformed sources and jump through all these hoops. But the reality, guys, is, and we all know it, Wiki's pretty fucking handy, all right? And Wiki is useful as a tool in your box. And the moral outrage about Wiki was not... It was too intense, and it was because of people being a little bit scared about how things were changing. And I kind of look at certain aspects of AI as very similar to that. Holy fuck, this is not a Guild Wars 2 stream. What is this? I'm so sorry, guys. Let's make the ring. You're a biology teacher on your break right now. Class will start in half an hour. I always got the sense when you finally got to talk to a teacher after school. Obviously, they wanted to go mark shit and they wanted to go get back to their lives, but it was nice to just have a student that actually was interested in the subject, you know, rather than just, okay, here's the next hoop you have to jump through so that I don't look bad when you fail. You know, it was nice to actually, like... And that's the thing, in an ideal world, we could all have individual tutoring. We could all have, you know, but it's just not viable, is it? Okay. What am I doing? The other thing I wanted to show off was Castoran Coral, actually. Should we start with this? So on the last stream, I started this, and it told me I needed to do a bunch of events around the map, which I have long since finished. So let's do this, actually. So on behalf of the Wizard's Vault, investigate the Inquest interference with the coral reef of Castoran. This is a quest I've never done. I don't know where it's going. Well, I think we get 2 ascended weapons out of this. I had to buy it on the vault. Where was she? I think she's up on this beach here. So let's see what she says. Was this voice acted? I think some of you guys recommended this is pretty good. So let's have a look here. Yeah, here she is. Hello, I'm back. So what's the story with the reefs? According to our initial findings, a subspecies of coral here in Castoran has remarkable magical emanations. It may even be a contributor to the island's secrecy, a living ward spell, if you will. Okay, you seem pretty relaxed. Well, Castoran has been a bit all hands on deck, so I was recalled from time off. Still, I have had a good example by not overworking, so I'm projecting relaxation in between information analysis. So yeah, in the main story, we heard that Castoran was kind of separated from the rest of the world with this mist and this magic. I guess it's baked into the reef. Are we bringing it down somehow? Okay, look, I've raised and solved some trouble. How's the triangulation? As ever, your talents are appreciated. We've been able to establish the pattern of decay and determine the general area where it began. The origin point of the withering effect? Correct. I suspect the Inquest tampered with something best left alone. I'll mark the spot on your map. Give it a thorough check with your skimmer's keen senses. Okay, if I find anything, I'll follow up. Right. So we're going to use Skimmer's Aether Location skill near the marked reef. Okay, and we get a nice telegraph here on the map. A little bit buggy with the UI. It's obviously escaping its bounds there, but hey. I always get a little bit worried with these kinds of quests because the telegraphs tend to be a bit all over the place and higgledy-piggledy and not really trustable. But here, it's alright. There's even a tooltip when we mouse over it. Any news on the second half of VOE? Oh shit, yeah, sorry, guys. Oh my god, how did we get this distracted? Real quick. Look how half-assed my news coverage is now. This used to be a video, guys. With a big thumbnail. A big title written in all caps. Oh my god, new patch teaser. What? Oh my god, guys, welcome to another video. Something really exciting has just happened. I can't fucking believe it. I'm shaking right now. I'm actually not sure where even to start. Like, my hands are shaking. Look at this. It's a screenshot of a new area. A new map. Arenanet, through the kindness of their hearts, have given us this preview. Isn't that fantastic? I love Guild Wars. I love Arenanet. Make sure to hit the thumbs up and to like this video. Please feel free to subscribe for a little bit more news. What do we have here? We have a waterfall. Holy shit. Look at that. Look at the water. Can you guys imagine the waterfall physics? I loved the waterfall physics in Janthea. You know, do you guys remember the fish adventure and we went backwards up the fish, up the waterfall? As if that was so cool. And the rapids, I'd like to see that again. Maybe there's like a hidden cave back there. That was a really cool achievement as well, you know, exploring through all the waterfalls. Maybe, in your opinion, they've done that too many times, but I think it's still an exciting part of the game. What else? Look, there's unbound magic. So let's see. We can not only get on our sky scale and collect that unbound magic and experience our endurance bars filling back up, but we can also do it on a skimmer now. Because remember, in the new expansion, the skimmer has become a lot stronger. I really, really love the skimmer. That new skill too, I wasn't very good at when the expansion came out, but now, wow, so good. Don't you guys think this is going to be the best? You know, there's probably going to be an event there where we have to collect some of that unbound magic. We saw that happening in Nyos back when the mini expansion started, and we've seen it a little bit as well in the Starlit World, the second map. Hopefully you guys have still been doing some of those achievements. Maybe you've done that with some of the recent events, you know, the unlockable quests in the Wizard's Vault, which, you know, check out my recent stream to see me doing. There's some water. Now, are they going to do an underwater overhaul? Is there a chance for an underwater overhaul, since we do see some underwater stuff on this map? Now, I know there are some cynics out there, but to be honest, there's a lot of water. There's the grottos. I think it's time. Wouldn't you guys love an underwater overhaul for Guild Wars 2? That would be very cool. That tree is cool. It's got orange leaves. Remember the launch of the expansion? There was an orange tree there, one of the first images we got. And it was very pretty in the first map. There was a grotto underneath it. Wow, that was a cool moment. That was in my stream series. If you guys want to watch my Let's Play, I have a stream series of that. Check that out. And again, if you didn't like the video yet, please feel free to. And just so that you all know, this came with a quote from Vlox. Vlox, currently my favorite character in the game. I don't know where the irony ends now, because I really meant that. He is cool. 1 second. I need to get the quote. I'm being attacked in the background this entire time, by the way. I'm sure you guys can hear that. Something's hitting us. Okay, the Vlox quote is, "With the staff in hand, the way opens before us. The only path to Tyria's survival. A road I will walk because someone must, and no one else will." Vlox. Wow, of course he's alluding there to the fact that he's got the staff now, and he's going to perform the big ritual that we heard at the end of the storyline. Oh, I'm so excited. I love Guild Wars 2. I love the Guild Wars 2 storytelling. Can't wait for the next map. There you go. There you go. And that'll be, I shit you not, a higher viewed video than anything else that I would do of worth simply because it has the title saying new map tease. The reality of the industry. One of those fucking fake ass voices. Alright, what are we doing here? Okay. I'm not a bitter person, am I? No, I'm not bitter. No. Oh, there it is. Ruined Reef. You know, the one problem with playing this hill build all the time is if I try to dismount to read that, the thing's going to attack me and I can't kill it easily. So let's quickly swap to the bomb template, which I hope has a bit of damage on it. How old is that screenshot? It's from the raid update. It was at the bottom of a blog. There was a blog post that said, hey, the raid update's live, which I didn't click because I didn't think it was worth any value, but there was a little tease. So it's maybe 3-4 weeks old now? No, a little bit longer maybe? Okay, Ruined Reef, but it's not giving me the pop-up. Did I bug it? Oh, use the Aether location skill near the reef. There we go. This reef has been torn apart by excavation lasers. It appears the Inquest must have carved out a central node of the coral. I should be able to follow their trail with Aether location. Okay. So we're going this way. This is cool. And yeah, by the way, I think I've mentioned this. I genuinely, Slipstream Boost is fucking strong. That Tekkit path I just did, Tekkit set it up for the Sky Scale, which I guess is his mount of choice still at this point. And it is quite maneuverable, but holy shit, the skimmer, when you get a good straightaway, so smooth, so comfy. And it's like ridiculously fast too. It took me a while at launch to really get how it works, but wow, it's good. Okay, a little bit more coral. We're still moving over here. Okay, now do the OMG 44k one button DPS video, please. Oh, I know, right? Like, ooh. If you ever see me do a video with all caps in the title again, shame me. Remind me I said I wouldn't do it. Shame me and, you know, fill the comments. Link to this. I'd like to believe I'll never do it again. Shit, where is it? Because I do high quality content. I sit there ranting about Google Gemini for 20 minutes, spinning in circles. What the fuck? Oh, it's not going to be up because it's coral. We're looking underwater, so surely. Unless that's the twist. It is. I can't imagine that. There must be a grotto entrance somewhere nearby. Or what happens if I swap Mega Server? Oh, by the way, I never turned the boon table off this whole time. I've started trying to use the heal stats add-on, where you share your stats to a central server, and then everyone reports it together, and you can compare your healing. But like nobody uses it. So it's kind of one of those self-fulfilling things where now I kind of don't want the clutter on my screen because it never really seems to mean much. But then that means no one's using it, so then no one's using it, so then no one's using it. I really have no idea on this one. Castoran coral. Let's look just at the map and see if there's something called the blue. See there, it says Skimmer Grotto Way. So there is one. If that takes us down here, maybe that will be correct for us then. So let's see. Well, we detected an Aether chest. Huh, still getting beach coming. Yeah, I've also been stacking up unusual coins. There's actually quite a high expense on all the... Because Arenanet keep adding new spears. Obviously, spears were last year's thing, but they're doing a really cool job where they're adding lots of new spears even this year to old sets. But they all cost many, many, many unusual coins. And, I'm not even close to finishing the whole collection on those. I actually thought it was quite clever though. With the most recent patch, they added like an added incentive to get more of them. I think in the Wizard's Vault. Okay, we go this way. So it's going to take us into one of the cool grottos. I like this because some players might have missed this at the expansion launch, and this was easily a highlight of the map, right? Like this was very cool. Aha, we're in the giant grotto. This room was amazing. There we go. Feeling like I made a major error here. This isn't right. Well, maybe not a major error. But certainly one. Has anyone in chat actually finished this? Do you know how much gameplay we're in for here? We're on for? Oh, there's a kit shark. These things were cool. Did like these. Do we just want to surface in here somehow, maybe? Maybe around this corner? Oh god, I'm gonna sneeze. I'm gonna have to mute. Alright, there we go. Sorry about that. Hope that mute worked. Wait, it's not the super secret thing, is it? Where there was like the... You find a... What is it? A single carker has killed a bunch of... No, it's not that, is it? There's a really... There's like a hidden grotto that's not even in the achievement list. I don't think it's here. See, unfortunately, because this is a quiet morning stream, and after a while of inactivity, we don't have a cadre of people to just move us to every single POI or objective. Let me just check again, just to be 100% sure. It's not... There's nothing you can climb through here, right? That is just a dead end, yeah. And there's nowhere to surface here. Do you think it's like way up on the surface, out of the grotto, maybe? Wait, he was at... Oh, yeah. Oh, my God, you're right. Oh, what? Whoa. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, my God. Holy shit. So I was tricked by the hologram like I was supposed to be. Hey, that is cool. And look, they've actually tweaked the map and stuff as well here. That's very cool. Oh, and you can see the kit sharks swim through it casually sometimes. That's amazing. Ah. The Laboratory CAS U5. Near an arcane portal, a dull intercom gurgles static. A very scary-looking red Asura gate. Pass key for the... press the key for access. Automatic... sorry, oh dear. Automated security quiz. Dynamic cycle. Question 1. When quacks quack at quacks, who first quacks back? Obviously, the quack who last quacked turns about and quacks back. Or... obviously, not the quack who last quacked, so the next quack in the stack. Obviously, the first quack to... Sorry, obviously the first quack to crack is the first quack to quack back. I do? I do! I quack! I am not ready for this quiz. Oh, I love that. I have no time for ominous static. I love it when they're creative about the decline options. I feel like most of us just gloss over these and don't even read them.
Okay, to be most logical...
The question is not just who quacks back. The question is who first quacks back. So option 1 is us declaring that the quack who last quacked turns about and quacks back, but that guy shouldn't quack back because it's not his turn to quack back. It should be the first guy. Obviously not the quack who last quacked, so the next quack in the stack. This is amazing. I'm going to say this one. Error. Automated answer evaluator. Error. Immediately review your security response with a security response supervisor in the main lobby. Be prepared to accept lethal correction. Fair enough, if you'll let me through. Wait, I'm rethinking this plan. Can I try another option? I can. Obviously, the quack who last quack turns around about and quacks back. Error. Error. Okay, not that one. Obviously, the first quack to crack is the first to quack back. Error. Okay. And finally, what about me? I quack. Error. Oh, they all error. Ah. I would have loved it if one of them was sneakily right. All right, I'm going to quack. Let me through. Would you like to continue to Laboratory CASU5? What is this? I didn't think there'd be a mini instance. This is very cool. Hello, Oliver Valek. Welcome, welcome. You got here late. What is the agenda for the stream? The agenda is filleting AI. That's what the agenda is. So when I'm going down Gemini rabbit holes, I always catch myself just muttering the weirdest shit. Like I'll just end up, like I'll read something and I'll end up reading weird shit like, man, the Dutch are cool. And it's because I've just read about, you know, some fucking early initiative they had politically that was kind of interesting, or some power they had, or this, that, or the other thing, or some refuge that they offered. And I'm like, in what world would I imagine myself to have said that? Okay, CASU5 lab announcements. Dear Arch Researcher Tunsi? I don't remember this character. In celebration of the 99th anniversary of your natal aggress... Ew. Does that mean birth? What is a person's natal aggress? Does that mean birth? Hold on. Define natal. Relating to the place or time of one's birth. Okay, natal aggress might just mean leave your home, leave the place that you left your home. Or it could mean leaving the uterus. In celebration of the 99th anniversary of your natal aggress, we are pleased to present you with a pineapple upside down cake. Thank you for exhausting these last several decades of your life in pursuit of rigorous science and relentless innovation. If you wish, you may let your staff eat during any downtime between experiments. Calculated from the prior decade's health examination logs, your odds of continued survival beyond the age of 100 diminish exponentially. So please enjoy this opportunity for rest and relaxation. In the words of our late arch headmaster Quag, science never stops. So naturally, then, neither can we. I don't know if Tunzi or Quag are like Guild Wars 1 characters. Possibly not. As a reminder to staff, be sure to sign below to claim 20 minutes of cake time. This will ensure your compensation reductions are appropriately prorated. Over a dozen titles and names are listed below. Most are illegible, and several names with lower ranking titles have been crossed out. So Arch Researcher Tunzi, Senior Researcher Zun, Senior Energy Calculator Cag, and Researcher Iger. Just trying to rack my brains right now for any, like, immortality talk in the recent expansion. So obviously Ancora and the Rite of Ascension makes people immortal. The Seers had this big immortality theme thing going on. And Vlox himself, I can't remember where we landed on it. Does it? We got any lorehounds in chat right now? I can't remember where we landed. Vlox is an Asura name we already have from Guild Wars 1 250 years ago, Vlox's Falls. And when it first became apparent that Vlox was the leader of the Inquest, we had this interesting thing going on where we were thinking, maybe he's an Asura that through the Inquest, through science, through the eternal alchemy, he's found a way to extend his life for ages. And this is the Vlox. Then later we figured out he only became the head of the Inquest recently. And sort of stopped talking about that. But one does not necessarily force the other, right? He could both have figured out how... He could be a very long-living Inquest. And he could have only just attained the leadership role. We obviously have the hanging threads of the Celestial Ministry and all that over in Cantha with the whole immortality thing. So I don't know. But there's some base here and they're expecting them to die after 100. Okay. Maybe we're just having fun. Like, what purpose does this serve? To talk about the fact that there's a very old living... Where are we? Look at this. We're like right out up here in the fady area of the mists. I don't think we're really meant to scrutinize this necessarily. The mist map is cool, by the way. I've always liked the mist map. You know what the layout here immediately reminds me of? And in fact, the holographic wall getting us in here reminds me of it as well. The hidden base at the start of the Sandswept Isles patch, the second patch. Long Live the Lich from Season 4, which had us come to a base. Okay, this is kind of creepy. I'm turning the audio up. So what do we got? A bunch of veteran SERVs, but they're not attacking me if I leave them alone. Liz doesn't look very good at the moment, by the way. I haven't really gone and set her up with the fashion templates. Arenanet have obviously done an announcement about upcoming plans and changes. You'll notice when I right-click now, that third column is no longer there, which is what threw me off in my understanding of the template change. Also, we do have, I didn't even cover this on the fashion thing, there's Get Equipped Fashion is now a nice big prominent button for you. So you can very quickly have the template reflect what you're actually wearing. But basically their idea is they're creating a default tab, a tab 0, which is very, very good and kind of resolves a lot of the problems, I think. I also think, by the way, Arenanet didn't talk about this, but this sucks. It sucks that we have an additional click every single time we want to mess with fashion, just because tools exist, which sucks. Barely anyone ever is going to click these. Arenanet, I know it sort of feels like this maybe fits here, but you really should have just left tools as one of these menus. Fuck it, leave them over here. All right, if skiff skins are here rather than fashion, right? If mount skins are here rather than your fashion, if Jade Bot skins and other things are here rather than fashion, these are all the domain of cosmetics, right? Fuck it. Put the tool skins over in equipment, right? Equipment is our tools anyway. And get rid of this extra layer. Insane. Just have us jump straight into it. Also, you get to clean up this as well if you do that. Be much better. Anyway. Automated Information Desk Entity. Okay. Welcome. How may the Automated Information Desk Entity assist you? Hello, AIDE. I'm here to have my security answer reviewed. I can actually talk about the thing at the door. Excellent. Wait here for a personnel reviewer, or insert yourself into an adjacent corpse bag and await automated body disposal. Of course. Great. I shouldn't have been honest. Oh, Bragg just says it's future-proofed because they intend to eventually put the skiffs and mounts and stuff gateways in there. That makes sense, yeah. And it's because they want these tied to templates, don't they? And yeah, you're right. I can see that now. I can see it. Fair enough. Ignore me. Damn, you got your finger on the pulse there. That's two very good points you made there with that. Note says they could put Note says they need to put a wardrobe button or one for each item on the equipment tab. So you click for a change and it just flops from equipment over to tab 0. That would be cool as well, yeah. That would be cool. Oh, by the way, earlier, Nick Last Name says, if you're doing the coral weapons, it's not that much, but you will have to do the Starlit World meta at least once. Ah, so we might not be able to complete this. Okay, hello AIDE. I'm here to celebrate as a guest. Can I get some cake? You are attending Arch Researcher Tunsi's birthday party? Wonderful. Leave any gifts in the storage locker. And use guest researcher password mind party at the security gate. Yes, mind party. I'll make a note of that. Thank you. Okay, hello AIDE. I'm here to learn more about this lab's ongoing research. Absolutely. After the wreck of the vessel, redacted. Arch researcher Tunsi discovered redacted has redacted properties. This lab was established to redacted the redacted to enable redacted. Okay. I assume when they say after the wreck of the vessel, blah, 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 weren't a bunch of Inquest vessels brought here and some never made it? Didn't we read that before? Hello, AIDE. I'd love to learn about this lab's concealment. Absolutely. The holographic rock you passed upon entry was a painstaking recreation of Redacted's inventions. Applying her techniques underwater was challenging, as was hydroproofing the entry. We learned nothing. Should I attack the golems while they're neutral? It looks like I could kill them. Can I actually read the main lobby? Is that separate? Warning, severe breach underway. All staff must report to the containment room. Did I read that earlier and just not inhale it? Entry room. Saying the same thing. This is good. There's a lot of little details here. Lots of yellow things to interact with. What's going on in there? Some kind of furnace? Oh, they're burning bodies in there, are they? Oh, they are! Oh! I like how they have collision. The staff storage locker is packed full of small trinkets, gifts, notes, and cards celebrating arch researcher Tunsi's 99th birthday. I could ferociously take the gifts. Should I take the gifts? I feel like I've got a lot of opportunities to be a dick here. Welcome to CASU5. Scan your staff badge below. I could say no, I must speak with your supervisor, or I did get the party. I'm here for Arch Researchers Tunsi's birthday party. Guest researcher password, mind party. Wow, that's very... Oh my god, I know where we are. We're in COE. Are we in COE? Okay, I don't literally mean we're in COE, but I mean the layout. Isn't this the laser puzzle here? That would be the laser puzzle, the laser wall puzzle, which, by the way, I haven't done for a long time. This is where you would synchronize pressing F. They've obviously put this block here and stuff. You press F on all these panels. Golems would wake up here. That door's always closed, or is like a glass window. Actually, I don't know. And then this is the underwater section of it, right? But look at that. That's very, very good. Haha. I like it. And there's so many little things they put around. And this is quite cool because there are a lot of paths you can take here in COE, but you never do. You just tunnel vision towards the end, right? Yeah, like normally in COE you'd go through there, but they're going to force us the long way around, I guess, this time. What is going on? I can't travel through there. There's some coral that's illuminated. There's 4 golems looking in on the inside. I already think this is a better Wizard's Vault quest than the one from last year. Pineapple upside down birthday cake. Oh my god. Now that is a type of cake I cannot have had since I was maybe 13. Pineapple upside down cake. I had a grandmother that used to make that, and she did it very well. And but when she got older and a bit more senile, she wasn't good at it anymore, and it was rubbish. And we all kind of felt bad because we never like really knew her recipe or her technique. But bless her, she'd still tried to make it. I remember it always came out really, really watery and soggy and just not great. I rewatched the Fallout TV show at Plus Season 2 last week. And they have that Jell-O cake in that. Which a lot of people say, oh, that looks gross. Jelly with cake, but I'd be down for trying that. I also saw... Guys, look this up. It's on like the baking subreddit, right? Go to Reddit, go to the baking subreddit. Someone posted like this week, maybe last week. See if you can find a way to find it. An ocean cake? And what they do is you get a sponge cake, you cut out the center, the big bit, a huge chunk of cake in the center, which you can repurpose for whatever, I guess, I don't know. And then you put buttercream in there. It's a vanilla sponge and then white buttercream, right? And the colors here are really important. Then you fill it with jelly, blue jelly, and you can put like some little chocolate fish or like, you know, gummy fish in the jelly as it sets. Put a lid on it, and when you cut into this cake, it looks amazing. It looks like a slice through of the beach. Like somehow the buttercream and then the sponge. Oh, it's the best fucking thing ever. I really want it. And I was like, this looks amazing. I went into the comments and everyone was just bitching. Oh, I would hate it if I bit into jelly in a cake. And I was like, oh man, come on, the artistry, it's so good. It seems the party was interrupted early. Though the cake was sliced, only a few slices have been plated. The candles still flicker dimly. This lonely cake now looks quite cold. I want it! Oh my god, it's like in the shape of a oh, it's an upside down choya! This is amazing. More analysis may be possible with better tools. This is insanely cool. Look at that. An upside down choya. They got a knife there. They got the little party hats. Oh, someone had fun with this. That is hilarious. They basically just jammed a bunch of candles in the arse of a choya. I want a bite. Oh my god, I want a bite. I'm hungry for sugar. Researcher Eager's notepad. Coral sample experiments. We've exposed coral fragments to blistering heat, staggering cold, and highly corrosive acid. We've sliced it, torn it, and put it in a hydraulic press. At researcher Uhu's suggestions, we even subjected it to the most unpleasant quaggan folk music in Arch Researchers Tunsi's expansive musical catalogue. Again and again, the fragments react in real time to each of these stimuli, adapting rapidly to the new conditions. More and more, it appears to harden and sharpen itself against what it perceives, perhaps justifiably, as threats. So it hates the folk music. As conditions continue to worsen, these coral fragments adapt and propagate further. During more violent reactions, a few fragments even punctured the surrounding experimental shielding. Researchers with more time in situ have begun to report anguished wails in the lower frequencies of their hearing range, although that could just be a natural consequence of prolonged exposure to quaggan folk music. Aside from rapid and aggressive growth, after surviving several rounds of stimuli, this coral is also capable of producing clouds of fragments. Inhaling these has effects ranging from seemingly benign to psychoactivity to lethal neurotoxicity. The seers have left us a truly revolutionary biological tool, and soon, with continued Inquest ingenuity, perhaps a revolutionary biological weapon. Zun insists on wasting time and resources developing inoculation in case of widespread exposure. Such an event is statistically inconsequential. We've taken all necessary precautions to keep the coral contained, and our direct exposure experiments have remained limited to the use of interns. Yeah, so they're happy for the interns to get ill and sick and contaminated. As Kudu's motivational hololog state, any discovery worth a damn requires bravery. Science favors the bold. I love this. Beautifully Inquest. Perfect mix of mad science, evil bastards, and a little bit of first world corporate bullshit in there. And nastiness. Yeah, try that water cake. So good, guys. The ocean cake. You know another thing where I loved the look of it, or I thought it was insane, and I saw people inexplicably bitching about it online, okay? It was this, right? I hope I haven't told this story a lot before, because this was a while ago. Right, do you guys know what a 99 is? Like a cone, a flake 99 or whatever, right? an ice cream cone, okay? You know what an ice cream cone is? You got like a wafery cone, and you put it under like an ice cream machine, and you squeeze out a bunch of ice cream in a nice long stream that like curls its way up the cone. And what you do is you fill the inside of the cone mostly, the very bottom bit might not get filled with ice cream, and then you pile the ice cream on top of the cone. And then there you go. Maybe you stick a flake in there. Maybe you put some chocolate sprinkles. Maybe you put a little bit of chocolate sauce or strawberry sauce or whatever. Okay? Cone. Right? We get it. This was a video of an American ice cream place where whatever you're imagining as the cone, whatever you imagine that to be, I want you to quintuple it. All right? The actual wafer bit. Make it fucking massive. Make it like the size of your head. All right? Just the most ridiculous cone you can imagine. All right? Now, take it to the ice cream machine and start squeezing that ice cream in there. Fill it all the way up. Just insane amounts of ice cream. So you've now got like 5 times the amount of ice cream that you normally would have as well. Just this huge ice cream. Genuinely, once it's done, it's the size of your head. Okay? Right? Massive ice cream. But wait, we're not done yet. Now, so you've got like a pile of ice cream, right? It's in a like vaguely pyramid shape, right? It comes up to a point. The ice cream comes up to a point. Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to take a new cone, a new wafer, all right? And turn it upside down and put that new wafer on top of the pile of ice cream. Slide it in there, slot it in there. So now you've kind of got like two cones sandwiching just a mountain of ice cream, right? Okay? But we're not done yet, okay? Now, using the new stability gained from this extra wafer, this extra thing of wafer, now go back to the ice cream cone machine and swirl more ice cream around the outside of the new cone, making a new mountain that goes all the way up and covers the new upper level of wafer, so that there you go. That you now only see ice cream again. It's like the most obscene, like crazy fucking huge ice cream you could possibly imagine, right? Absolutely ridiculous. Like a family of 5 could eat from this fucking thing, right? And that's obviously the point of the video, the point of the dish. The video is one of the it's from the POV. It's a camera feed of the POV of the guy getting it, and he holds his hand out, and you can see it's a big fat hand, and he takes it, and there you go. Right. That's what the video was, and it's obviously entertaining because it's like, wow, this is a huge ice cream. I went to the comments, a bit like with this cake video. I went to the comments, and can you believe it? Can you believe it? People were complaining that they had been conned out of ice cream because of the upper cone, the upper wafer. They were saying, oh, I'd be really annoyed if I bit into that and I found there was wafer in there and there was a hollow bit of wafer and it wasn't fully filled up. I was like, what am I living in fucking Bizarro world? What is this? What do you mean? And that was like the prevailing sentiment. That's what the most upvoted comments were. Like the top 2 or 3, they were all about that. Oh my god, that's such a cheat. Wow, that's not what I would expect. It's hollow. And there's wafer in there. That's what about my ice cream? I'm not fucking joking. That is what the consensus was. And obviously, the Goomba fallacy. There are other people expressing other opinions. But you had to scroll down a lot. You had to get low to see sane people that are like, okay, yeah, maybe a mountain of ice cream is fine. I could not believe that people were being picky about the fact that there was a wafer on the inside bit. Oh my god. And, normally you'd say, oh, that's rage bait. But it wasn't rage bait. It was the comments. That was the comments engagement. Anyway, guys, don't just listen to me, bitch. Look that up as well. Look up the cake and tell me if you think it's a good-looking cake. And no, I wouldn't eat it because it's got jelly in it. Sorry, Jello to my American friends. And look up the Giga ice cream cone. I was watching it thinking, man, yeah, that's crazy. You could put like sauce on each different layer, and it could be a bit, a different experience. When you were in the outer cone, maybe it's chocolate, and once you get to the inner cone, it's strawberry or something. Anyway, back to the Inquest. Sorry about that. Sorry. Someone out there is watching this and thinking, fuck me, I waited how long for WP to stream some Guild Wars 2, and all I get is these shitty tangents. It's like a... It's like the... Yeah. This is a set of precise and powerful research tools. It could come in handy. Okay, we're going to borrow the analysis toolkit. Good research benefits from good tools. Okay. Do I get any Asura-specific options here? I'm always excited to get those when we have stuff like this. Okay. By the way, do we have cool monsters and things swimming around? There's fish swimming around. There's something at least. There's an analysis toolkit. This is a set of precise and powerful research tools that could come in handy. Well, I already have... Oh, sorry, no, I just... Ignore that. I managed to turn myself around. This is the way. There's a corpse. Zun's corpse. Well, let's check here because this is dead end. Senior Researcher Zun's terminal. Welcome to the medical terminal. All records are organized by subject and several records are locked behind security badge validation. Access feedback furnaces and failures. My sister says I should journal more. But these days my pen weighs heavy. I fear this project will be the death of me. Already I was forced to incinerate several staff members involved in the initial surgical work to excavate that coral heart from the Castoran reef, plus another clumsy staffer who spilled coral fragments in the hallways during transit. My hands are bloodied. Our sterilization and disposal furnace monthly energy metrics will be affected. Arch researcher Tunzi insists that researcher Anto may have been a double agent, serving our ambitious rivals back at CAS U3. Because this is U5, right? I am not so certain. After all, Anto did not even notice the subtle nerve agent slipped into his on-site breakfast. I'd expect more from our rivals. Wow, these people. Okay. Access poor project selection. When our vessel crashed, I presumed we had all the evidence required to evaluate this coral worthy of a wide berth. Instead, after rescuing Arch Researcher Tunzi, I'm getting dragged along after his latest obsession. Meanwhile, the rest of our team seems to resent my calls for greater caution. Left to their own devices, I worried they'd tear me apart for sport and scholarship. Castora contains such a wondrous myriad of flora and fauna, each presenting prime opportunities for weaponization. The local crustaceans alone have such novel adaptations and potential for improvement. Laser crabs! To my intellect, it seems so obvious. I like that. But no, Tunzi insists on weaponizing the volatile coral that surrounds the entirety of Castora. Already our tests reveal uncomfortable signs of low-grade sentience. Analysis of recent exposure subjects suggests this coral may well even have a capacity for violence, perhaps even vengeance. If I was not so anxious, I might admire it. Still, I worry what ruin our research may leave in its wake. Interesting. Access protected record survival costs. Access denied, security badge not found. But we're going to find that on the body then, I guess. Meanwhile, what is this? The main laboratory? Severe breach, containment, get away from the containment room. This is a sophisticated medical system. It's loaded with a medical salve that a small screen claims protects users from local biological hazards. Okay, I'm going to use the device to guard myself against biological hazards. That's cool. They use cleansing wave. I got 1 minute of it. Inquest crew medical salve stimulates your cells to regenerate, healing me over time. It also minimizes the impact of biological hazards. So I'm guessing what's going to happen is when I go to the corpse, I'm going to get infected. It's going to put a dot on me maybe or something. And I need to get to the corpse, get the badge, rush back and read that thing before it's too late. So I'm going to reapply. Tap in a lightning flash just to be sure. I assume it's a dead end there. They won't let us explore all of COE. Oh no, maybe they will. This corpse lies still. A name tag identifies him as Senior Researcher Zun. Investigate the body. Zun's corpse is covered in gashes and stained black with dried blood. The security badge remains visible under a stiff hand. Using the analysis toolkit, study the wound carefully. These wounds were inflicted by teeth, nails, and claws. The body is dusted with inert coral fragments. Medical salve residue suggests that Zun was recently inoculated against local biological threats. Thankfully, this salve should also protect me from fragments. Okay, let's take his badge. Let's check the blood trail. The trail suggests that he desperately limped here from the containment room at the end of this hallway before finally collapsing from his wounds. Using the analysis toolkit, study the spatter carefully. The spatter and pooling suggests that Zun sealed the door and then hesitated. Perhaps he left something behind? Or someone? Kind of read that in the slightly wrong order there, but okay. Alright, so we've got his badge. You know what? This feels a lot like... It's so funny I mentioned Long Live the Lich there. Did I mention Long Live... Did I accidentally say the name of that patch wrong? Did I say the head of the snake? I meant Long Live the Lich. They're starting with a lab and blah, blah, blah. This feel with it behind a holographic wall. Similar thing here. It feels a lot like that. That's... Honestly, Season 4 was so high quality and that patch was insanely good. Alright. Access his protected record. Or her, I don't know. Survival costs. I must continue to refine my inoculation against the prototype coral spurs. The salve cannot manage an existing malady, as a number of my subordinates have unfortunately proven in their last gift to science. Happily, the workers I convinced to slather... You know, I always love this. There's a really great episode. There's actually a collection of episodes in Star Trek Deep Space Nine. All about, you know, the ethics of frontier medicine. And going slow and taking... I think there's a TNG episode as well where they try to rebuild Worf's spine. And there's a very gung-ho go-get-em doctor that's kind of cutting a lot of corners that she shouldn't be. Much to the chagrin of Beverly Crusher, Ghost Rider. Happily, the workers I convinced to slather themselves beforehand endured exposure quite well. Beyond initial duration expectations, even. Although, past that, continued exposure still proved deleterious. My medical salve is obviously effective, but it still requires repeated administration. That damned coral adapts irresponsibly fast. I may be able to prolong the duration of the effect if I apply distinct versions of the medical salve across thin layers with timed releases. Below, I've attached extended documentation on how to achieve this implementation with my prototype Inquest crew medical salve diffuser. If I am lucky, Tunzi will have finally approved this care for our entire team. I suppose it may come down to a cost comparison between salve material costs and furnace expenses. Wow. I do not envy Senior Energy Calculator CAG. For the time being, I will employ this method on myself to guarantee that my genius survives to benefit future generations. Right. And this is it. This is the Inquest crew medical salve diffuser. Right, so we go... So I've only got whatever I've got to do in here, I've only got 60 seconds. Less than that. 50 by the time I get there. 45. Containment room. Yeah, that's the same warning as before. Oh god, I feel unclean and creepy in here. Core high. Oh no! Veteran twitching corpse. Steals life, transfers conditions, plagued when attacked. It's basically a copy-paste of a risen mob then. Right down to the... Is my salve still okay? Oh, I've got it for ages now. 5 minutes.
Don't stand a chance.
Oh, there's another twitching corpse.
Rage at maximum. Heart of a volcano.
Okay. It's that wave assault in a little room. It's kind of like that little arena place in the Jade Sea, remember? And another one. Are they actually corpses standing up, or are they just spawning out of nowhere? Because that will help me know if... All good? Oh man, the combat music in this X-Pack was really great, wasn't it? The coral heart's surface is dotted with wounds. It seems to have broken its enclosure from within. Oh, should we nurse it back to health? Oh, it's really pretty, isn't it? Oh, come on. If you're sentient, I'll be nice. This seems unsafe. It does, doesn't it? Okay. So we finished 2 things at once. Find the stolen heart within the laboratory and return to Cieli now. Okay. Any other little hints or clues in here? Doesn't appear to be. Great. I'm so happy. If I get a little instance to explore, lots to interact with. I mean, it already exceeded my expectations.
Hey, friend.
Hi, what's this about a new map? There was a teaser for it. They did a screenshot here. It's there for you. To be honest, I just clowned around about it last time I talked about it. If you want my honest opinion on this, guys, like so many promotional shots in the past many years, it just looks like more of the same to me, and I don't really have anything to say about it. I'm sorry that it's a very bleak, unfun, non-enthusiastic take, but that is how I feel. When I see this, I mean, let me ask you guys in chat, what is the first thing that comes to mind when you see that? To me, it's a very, very, very strong familiarity with a specific map we've already been to. And I'm wondering whether you guys have that. What do you guys think that looks like or feels like as soon as you see that? For me, it's the foliage, the verticality, the cliffs, and the little floating orbs. They all, for me, point to something that we went to years ago, by the way. You completely missed this. Maguma? You think Maguma? I mean, yeah, I guess. Starlit. And of course, yeah, it's very similar to the new expansion because we have the tree and, yeah. Starlit. For me, it's actually Dragonfall. I very, very often have this, but to me, that feels a lot. And so many places do. Like Melange's area. Like, to me, the camera may as well be here, near this tree, right? Just looking at some cliffs or something. Do you guys know what I mean? Like, it feels... Like, we saw promotional images like this when Dragonfall came out, and at that point, it felt really fresh and new, and like, wow, that's quite interesting. And, you know, in Season 3, every promotional shot we saw, like when we were looking at shit like Ember Bay, or when it was looking at shit like Bitterfrost or Lake Doric, and you're like, holy fuck, that's a place in Kryta, but... or, you know, everything we saw when we were in Season 3 was incredibly thrilling and exciting. But I would say since Season 4 got done... Iceboot Saga had some good ones. You just thought of the second map, but brown. Yeah, and the brown color scheme kind of reminds me a bit of last year. You know that screenshot we saw of Janthir Wilds that people thought looked like pre-searing Ascalon? It had kind of a very brown tone, a very brown vibe to it. Yeah. Linking this bitching back to, you know, what we talked about earlier with Guild Wars 3. That's another place where I personally appreciate that Guild Wars 3 could be very, very, very cool. Because, you know, you've got new assets, new rendering capabilities, new lighting arrangements. And a lot of that stuff becomes very, very exciting again, I think. The promotional shots like that, they just don't really do much for me anymore. And I think Arenanet knows and appreciates that as well. Because, you know, that didn't get its own blog post. It didn't get a big moment where they really tried. You know, it was just an extra little thing that they put at the end of a blog post that was talking about the day's raid stuff. They're like, they know it's not bombshell news. They just put it out there because at the end of the day, it's a bit of extra fun for people. And I think they handled it just right. You know, to not clown around. That's why you don't get a dedicated video on that, because what is there to say? But as something to mention in the middle of these long form streams where we get together, we chat, we catch up, we play a bit of Guild Wars together and hopefully have fun. I think it's cool. Wonder if we'll get another Seneschal associated with the map. I would love that, yeah. I would love that. Would be very cool. The first two Seneschals were different enough. Hello, Wayfinder. Wayfinder. I can't appear to speak very well today. Have you guys noticed that? I've actually got a bit of a sore throat as well. We've only been going 2 hours. Have I been extra loud and extra ranty today? Okay, the Inquest had excavated some core from the reef, and I've got it back. It looks to be in poor condition. I doubt we can simply return it to its original reef and hope for the best. Any ideas for healing it? I believe those reefs are an organic component of the island's magical defense network. If you return this node to the heart of that network, it could be reinvigorated. Okay, well, I've seen a font of seer energy deeper inland. Let's give that a try. Okay, we're going to renew the wounded coral heart by cleansing it in the Seneschal's font in the Starlit Weld. Revealed after succeeding in the Seneschal meta. No! Let's check event timers, I guess, just in case. You never know. You never know. Ah! We're only just starting the Hammerheart Rumble. The Hammerheart Rumble's coming back. Well, never fear, because hold on. Hold on. Hold the phone. Because obviously we have the crab ring as well. And... so if I go to collections... oh, do you guys want to see something brutal? You guys all like this. Does anyone want to enjoy some Schadenfreude? Okay. So, a few weeks ago, one of you guys, one of the spuds, sent me a message saying, oh, I can't play the game anymore. I want to give you some gold. And I always say no to people when they offer gold. You know, I don't need it. And if they say, oh, well, I'm about to quit, I always say, yeah, but you might come back one day and you earned it and I don't need it. It's okay. Don't worry about it. This guy was very, very, very insistent. He ended up giving me a load of amalgamated gemstones, loads of them. It was absolutely fantastic. I thanked him profusely. And what I did was, because we'll do this account tour, I used it to help me finish off some of the collections that I was missing. So there are these mini collections, right? I don't know if you guys are aware of these, but like the mini sky scale hatchling collection, right? So what Arenanet did was they put these sky scales in blackline chests, and if you get loads of them, because they get spammed at you out of the chests, you can combine them together in the Mystic Forge to make a new type of sky scale. And then you can combine those to make another type. And then you so a grey one becomes a green one, becomes a red one, becomes a blue one. And it gets to copper, to gold, and they get really hard. So finally you get like a crazy one, like the bioluminescent one, which is like hundreds, if not thousands of minis, right? So while they are dropping from the chests, the mini collections are really cheap to get. They're very, very comfortable and very quick to do. But if you don't do it while they're dropping, then they get really expensive. And I don't open many blackline chests. It's not something I really do. It's not something I really pay attention to. So all of these mini collections I missed in their heydays. So when it came to me buying the minis, they were all ridiculously expensive, like hundreds of gold for the higher ones. Really, really expensive. When you finish them, you get these chests, which can contain 5 more keys, which are pretty cool, right? But then there's 10 AP. So anyway, over the years, I've had these in various states of completedness. But there were 2 that I hadn't done. The tiger cubs and the turtles. Okay? So a couple of weeks ago, this guy came. He gave me these amalgamated. I said, listen, if you give me these gems, I'm going to sell the gems. And I'm going to spend the gold on just a couple of minis. Like a couple of minis, but they're really expensive. And he said, yeah, do whatever you want with them. Have fun with it. I said, okay, thank you. So he helped me finish 2 of these collections. I finished the turtle one, as you can see here. And I finished the fox one. The fox... no, what's it called? Fuck. I can't remember what they're called. But I finished them. And I spent, guys... well, I will show you. I will show you. So if I go trading post, my transactions, history, bought. Okay. Here's stuff I've been buying. So traders, stuff, whatever. But what I'm interested in showing you is this. Look at this here, right? 250 gold for a shadow tigress cub. 150 gold for a golden tigress cub. 449 gold for a green one. 196 gold for a pink one, right? This is my purchase history from 19 days ago. 18 days ago, they updated the Black Lion chest, and you get cubs coming out of them. They put the cubs 1 day later. 1 day. 1 day. So now look, if I want to buy these cubs, look. 10 gold, 2 gold, 10, 22, 56. Oh, god damn it, man. Oh my lord. Seriously, I spent 400 gold on this green cub and it now costs 20. So yeah, pretty brutal. But hey, easy come, easy go. That's my mindset on that. At the end of the day, it was a gift anyway, right? It was a gift. And it was just a little way of the universe correcting itself, you know? Not everyone's in a privileged position to be able to get gifts from people like that. So the gift kind of got thrown in the bin in an awkward, weird way, because if I just went... And the other thing is, there's some lucky bastard out there. I don't know who you are or where you are, all right? Some lucky guy managed to... He was like the last chopper out of Saigon. He managed to sell those to me The day before the Black Lion chest came in. So there you go. A little fun story for you all. All right. Anyway, why am I talking about that? Because under collections, I want to go to legendary trinkets. Check it out. Radiance of the Sun Gods. There's also this quest to do. Help Shaman Palak honor the Hylic and their sun god Zintal. So we're going to do this. Speak to Hylic Shaman in Shipwreck Strand. A Shaman Hylic in Shipwreck Strand. I have no idea where he might be. And I don't think we get an icon for this. So let's have a quick look here. Radiance of the Sun God. So this is the other quest for us to do. So, Wiki says that Shaman Paddock can be found standing near the cliff northeast of Hull Garden Pier. Okay. So he's northeast of this somewhere. I've got crazy head rush. This is really weird. I've been getting a lot of head rush while streaming lately.
To see your face means work's gonna get done. It's
making me very uncomfortable. What do I think is the best pathing pack? I'm probably not the person to ask because I don't browse a lot of them. I will say I've always been a fan of Tekit's work. I know that there's like reasons that the community hate on him, I think, for this, that, or the other reason. You know what the community's like. But just in terms of the work he does and the effort he's put into the various packs, they've always been phenomenal. And that's what you can see floating around here. I really want to see more updates, quicker updates to Tiny HUD, so that the goggles work and stuff, so we don't see them through walls and things again, because it'll look a lot cleaner and a lot better and a lot cooler. What I've been streaming today is kind of ugly, and I totally accept that. But yeah, as far as pack makers, I'm quite a big fan of Hasker's pack, which I've been using at Ura. And obviously, Guitar Hero's Hero pack is also really good if you're raiding and doing stuff like that. His timers especially, his are like best in class. Northwest, it's saying. Shaman Palak is northwest of this waypoint. Wiki doesn't actually have a screenshot for me, which is a bit of a shame. It's not the guy with the legendary icon, is it? This would be northeast. A big part of me thinks it probably is that guy though, right? It is. There we go. Man, my frames are dying.
A meal today means no travel tomorrow.
Did I make a mistake? Okay, I've got this amazing PC. We built it together. It's got a 3080 in it, right? My feeling was that new GPU generations are not as exciting as they used to be. And so instead of leapfrogging generations, like there was no way I was going to rebuild a PC for a 4080. And usually I'd go to a 5080, but I decided no, I'm not going to do a 5080. I'm going to wait for the 6080. I'm going to skip 2 generations. That's what I told myself. And now obviously the RAM apocalypse has happened. So if we build another PC, if we crowdfund one, and I don't even know if we'll be able to. I don't know whether we have the audience for that or what, which is really depressing, isn't it? But there you go. But it would be so much more expensive now. Did I make a mistake waiting for the 6080? Because I often play Guild Wars now, and I really notice my performance is not as good as I would expect it to be. And really, it's all about the Guild Wars performance, you know? Like, right here, oh, well, we are at 60. It just feels really choppy. Like, look at that. It goes to 30 just because I'm mousing around. I'm not doing anything that hard. There's no Zerg here or anything. Look at that. Went down to 25 there. Okay, may Zinta warm your bones, bless your path, and gift you endless summers. I don't remember you from the Core X pack. Are you new? By the way, just by speaking to him, I finished a special, which I have not actually got the entire time. There's a PvP rush going on. There was a dungeon rush last week. There was a World vs. World rush before that. I'm not doing any of those. A Hylic in Castora. I don't think I've seen you around Holgarden before. I'm from Lion's Arch. We've likely crossed paths before. When I heard of your voyage, I snuck myself aboard your ship. Oh, really? I searched for magic in the name of Zintal. The sun hits these shores like no other. This place is definitely something else. It's magic you seek? In part, my people created a powerful ring long, long ago. A ring that radiates Zintal's light. I want to craft it and share in its warmth with Tyria. The recipe is passed down from shaman to shaman. Sounds like quite the ring. As a craftsman myself, I'd love to help. I accept your help. While I study the magic of this island, perhaps you could recover 8 shards of Zintal for me. They are relics of my people and are said to carry his magic. They will power the ring. Where can I find them? All but 2 have been entrusted to the chieftains of the Hylic tribes. And the other 2? One is guarded by Tequatl the Sunless. The other is deep within Wickmire Swamp in Caledon Forest. In Wickmire in Caledon. Is Wickman that near Morgan's Spiral? No. Which one's Wickmire? It's this? You want me to kill the jungle worm? The easy jungle worm? Oh, or possibly it's in the jumping puzzle up here, actually. Alright, and how do I go about getting the ones held by the chieftains? Seek out my acolytes first. I've sent them across the mainland to keep Zintor's flame bright in the tribe's souls. Sadly, their reverence has grown weaker. Our people's attention has turned to other matters. I don't like this dialogue. It's so generic. It's so, like, non-specific. Alright, fine. Your voyage to Sparkfly, Mount Maelstrom, Bloodtide Coast, Kessex Hills, and Timberline Falls. You may tell them that Shaman Palak has sent you to collect their shard of Zintor. Where in Sparkfly? Our great temple. Okay, where in Mount Maelstrom? There are 2 shards in Mount Maelstrom. I sent my most devoted acolyte to try and recover them. This could be cool, though. Lots of old jumping puzzles and things. Search Jalaco Cliff Rise. Leviathan's Arm. And the hunting banks. Okay. Thanks, Palak. I'll see what I can do. So, let's see the structure of this here. Defeat Tech is one of the first objectives. Has anyone in chat played this? Can you guys tell me how long of an adventure you think I'm on for this? So the legendary will require this item, and then it's like 2 of the gifts we already talked about at launch for Selakai Morpher. And I basically have all the resources. I have all the mats. Better getting an X3D processor. Yeah, I guess X3D... I heard, though, that they don't... I told you this, Jones. I heard they don't do X3D anymore. That they don't produce them. 2 to 3 hours max. Okay, 2 to 3 hours. That sounds like that's really good for a stream. Since we've been going for 2.5 hours, I think what I'll do, guys, is we'll do another stream, right? And in that stream... So what I will do is, in the meantime, I will finish the Starlit World meta. I will finish Tequatl off stream. And any, like, random time-gated bullshit event-y stuff. I'll finish all of that. Rest my throat. Because, yeah, I don't know why, but I've got a really sore throat. And then we can get to it. We can just do all the good story bits and the exploration bits all back to back. About a couple of hours if everything lines up event-wise. Well, if you guys have any advice for, like, another event I might preemptively do, we could do that as well. Yeah, time to start lowering some settings. Exactly, yeah. Wait, maybe context support? What, for low FPS? I don't think they'd be able to do much about that. I never even considered you might like to be able to do that. The only time gate is tech? Oh, that's excellent. Okay, yeah, brilliant. So I can do tech and I can do Starlit. And I'll get all the other pieces together for the ring. It's a funny thing, because you could say, WP, you already have 2 rings. Like, what's the point? But I don't know, it just feels nice filling in the slots. It might look good for a while. I don't know, the visuals. I don't know. Well, there you go, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Sorry for the spotty, irregular content recently, but I promise we will be back to normal, regular broadcasting very soon. Particularly because we've got 2 big, cool Guild Wars 1 series going. Oh, and on that note, by the way, on the Reforged note, I just want to say... For years, I've kind of said, oh, I'll do a pre-series series as my last thing with Guild Wars before I stop. Obviously, now that Reforged is a thing, that doesn't count anymore, all right? I'll do a pre-searing series because they're actually updating pre-searing, and it's worth keeping an eye on it, you know, and seeing what else they'll do. I want to play the new quest. I want to go to the new Pike and Square. I want to see the stuff. So that old idea of, oh, we'll end it all with pre-searing, no, fuck that. We'll do a pre-searing Reforged thing, and we'll do a Milan Doom thing. So, yeah. Thank you, everybody. There won't be long gaps between the episodes. There really won't. There's an NPC you can't talk to if a meta is running, so that's not something you can knock out. Okay, well, but as long as we have multiple objectives, we can just swing to do a different thing during that time, can't we? So that should be good. Thank you, everybody. Join me over in Discord. I'm very active. Over in the GW2 channel, especially, and obviously while I'm making content, the WP content channel too. It's been good to hear from you all. Go check out the giant ice cream and the cake and become a lover of AI. I don't know. See you guys next time. Ta-ta. Back to Peter Red Hill. Actually, that's another point. It won't be on Peter, weirdly enough. I'll actually have to buy some new character slots, I think. It's weird because I already have an Eldoa Ranger, and it's like, well, what do I do? Do I just delete that Eldoa Ranger and have a... Because I want to play Ranger. By the way, I think I'm... Oh, yeah. Guys, drop in the comments or over in Discord if you have suggestions of what class you'd like to see from a Land Doom. We have plenty of time to discuss that and figure out what it is. I kind of want to do Ranger, though. Ranger or Warrior. I really like the idea of Iron Man for those two and playing with damage types a lot, you know? But yeah, we'll see. All right, thank you, everybody. Take care. See you next time.